What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 11 RJ, Chapter 251. While a group of miscellaneous fish pirates marveled at the power of Ace's punch, they felt that Ace was too reckless and asked you to deal with the 18th, but you didn't even let you deal with Ye Chen. However, this group of miscellaneous fish pirates knows a fart. Ace knows the difference in strength between himself and Ye Chen best. If this fire fist could hurt Ye Chen a hair, he would eat his fist on the spot. Indeed, Ace is not wrong. Although Ace's fire fist is powerful, it is insignificant for Ye Chen, who can control the burn of hundreds of thousands of degrees. Even Ye Chen didn't need to resist the raging flames, someone had already rushed out. It is number 18. On the 18th, it is naturally impossible for Ace to hurt Ye Chen at all. Therefore, when the monstrous flame blasted over, the 18th also acted decisively. Supersonic punch. Number 18 gathered strength, and then slammed a punch. Boom. There was another loud noise. The next scene happened, but everyone was dumbfounded. This is obviously just an ordinary punch, but its power is beyond imagination. This punch not only smashed the monstrous flames directly, but also formed a huge shock wave that blasted towards Ace. What the hell is this? Upon seeing this, Ace's face turned pale. At the same time, Observation Haki, which he had studied for many years, also issued a danger warning, and it was the kind of extremely dangerous warning. This made Ace clearly realize that he couldn't handle this punch. If it is hardwired and there is only one end, it is death. Fortunately, Ace is not a vegetarian either. At a critical juncture, he turned into a flame, spurting flames from the soles of his feet, avoiding this shock wave at a very fast speed. The shock wave fell through and plunged directly into the sea. Immediately after, boom, the shock wave exploded on the bottom of the sea, producing a huge water mushroom that rose into the sky. Tens of thousands of tons of seawater was washed into the sky. Next second, wow, it rained heavily in the sky. Wow. This, except for Ye Chen, everyone was shocked. So powerful, no wonder you are eligible to be a member of the Black Crow Pirates. My god, none of the members of the Black Crow Pirates are vegetarian. Marco and other captains were also shocked by the earth-shattering punch of the 18th. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Even Ye Chen was a little surprised. As this number 18, it's really powerful. Moreover, Ye Chen knew very well that the punch on the 18th definitely did not use real strength. If she strikes with all her strength, the power of this punch, haha. I'm afraid, even if a dozen captains like Ace and Marco go together, they will all die. Of course, on the 18th, it was clear that Ye Chen only asked her to compete with Ace and the others, instead of letting her kill them, so she naturally wouldn't be true. It's purely for fun. What are you doing in a daze? Let's go together. Seeing number 18 surrounded by a light golden light circle, flying towards him, Ace suddenly became anxious. When Marco and others heard this, they no longer cared about the gentleman's demeanor, and stepped forward to help Ace. Phoenix Seal. Diamond Blasting. Chinwei Flurry. For a time, all kinds of moves were flying all over the sky. Extremely gorgeous, extremely spectacular, extremely shocking. Is this the strength of the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates? As expected of the captains of the Whitebeard Pirate group. With their strength, even against monsters like Ulquiorra and Galio, the winning rate is probably 50-50. However, it is a pity that this time, the opponent they encountered is the evil android No. 18. Super strong with hundreds of millions of combat power. Bells and whistles. In this regard, Leng Ao's number 18 also gave a sharp evaluation. Indeed, the moves displayed by the captains are very gorgeous, shocking, and powerful, but in the eyes of a super strong like number 18, all the bells and whistles seem so superfluous. Is it necessary to be fancy, so many tricks? Have it. Qigong Wave. On the 18th, spreading his right hand, aiming at all of them, an unexpected wave of Qigong blasted out. Boom. The power of destroying the heavens and the earth immediately changed the color of the whole world. What? Run. That's too late. What? Then, in the exclamation of Marco and other captains, all their flamboyant moves, in front of the unimaginable Qigong wave, all shattered with one touch. The reckless Diamond Joes, because he was too reckless, rushed too far, was affected by the Qigong wave, and was directly blown into the air. Is it necessary? Not at all. After Diamond Joes was blasted into the air, he was about to disappear into the air, while Marco, Ace and others were determined to save Joes, but they were helpless. They couldn't resist the Qigong wave. Work hard to save him. It can be said that under the huge impact of the Qigong wave, they gritted their teeth, forcibly endured and withstood the extremely huge impact, only to barely let themselves be blown away by the shock wave. As long as there is a trace of slack, they will be unable to hold it immediately, being blown up by the huge impact, and ending up like Diamond Joes. However, if you don't save your companions, are they still brothers and sisters? Are they still the Whitebeard Pirates? It's just that they can save each other, but can they really save it if they save their lives? I'm afraid not necessarily. Just when Marco and others were in great difficulty, Ye Chen's voice suddenly sounded. Save him. Ye Chen said. There is no need for the Whitebeard pirates to lose an important member because of a contest. Therefore, Ye Chen asked number 18 to save Joe's. Hearing the words on the 18th, naturally without hesitation, it turned into a ray of light, and immediately rushed into the air, Wang Zhao. Before Joe's disappeared, he was saved. And without the pressure on the 18th, Marco, Ace and others, this is better. The team captains of them joined forces, relying on their perseverance to withstand this huge impact without being blown away by the shock wave. Of course, they did not dare to resist the Qigong wave head-on. It was just a few people who worked hand in hand to assist Ace to create a super huge wall of flames, using the principle of refraction, to bounce the Qigong wave into the air to get hungry. Even if the Qigong wave flew into the vast sky, the scene was very shocking. The Qigong wave broke through the wind and the waves, flying all the way to an altitude of tens of thousands of meters, and then burst out. Boom! The huge impact circle spread rapidly in the air. As if a super huge firework exploded in the air, the terrifying circle of shock spread across the sky in an instant. The whole sky was shining red. Chapter 252. This. Ace was frightened. If this Qigong wave explodes directly on the ground, the consequences can be imagined. I'm afraid, the entire Hongyan Island no longer exists. Even if it broke out on the surface of the sea might have to be tumbling for days and nights. Fortunately, they reasonably guided the Qigong wave into the air, so they did not cause any casualties or damage. Is this the shock wave unique to the Dragon Ball world? It really is countless times stronger than the shock wave in this world. Ye Chen was also surprised when he saw this. The Qigong wave on the 18th was changed to be dealt with by him. I guess he could only guide it into the air. If you insist on resolving it, you will have to pay a bitter price at least. This is the power of the 18th. On the 18th, according to Ye Chen's order, after he rescued Joe's, he rushed back. Her speed is also surprisingly fast. Wherever she passed, there were sonic booms in the air. Number 18 carried the tall and burly Joe's like a chicken, and then threw him to the ground mercilessly. Joe's, who had lost consciousness in pain, let out a groan when he was not conscious. Of course, I don't care about the 18th. For the 18th, as long as Joe's is not dead, she doesn't care about other things. After Joe's was thrown to the ground, everyone looked intently, and couldn't help taking a breath. The reason why Joe's did not die was due to his fruiting ability. However, even if Jaws' body was covered with diamonds, one of the hardest substances in the world, which helped him withstand the fatal impact damage, the huge shock wave still stunned him. Moreover, the diamonds covering him were not complete, and dense cracks appeared one after another. It seems that with a little effort, all these diamonds will turn into powder. It can be seen how big the shock wave was suffered by Joe's. When everyone saw this scene, they couldn't help taking a breath. As for the 18th, she was not surprised by the fact that Marco, Ace and others worked together to guide the Qigong wave from her to the sky and resolve the crisis. After all, as an artificial person, after a series of rigorous and complicated calculations, she has long calculated that the only way for them to survive the disaster of Qigong wave is to guide the Qigong wave into the air and let it explode in the air. Otherwise, except Ye Chen, all of them will have to die in the explosion of Qigong wave. What? You said that this is just a contest. You should be merciful and stop at it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Number 18 has been merciful, and it's a good cut. Indeed, as far as she is concerned, as long as she doesn't hurt Ye Chen, and she doesn't ruin thousands of miles, then she is very merciful. No way, the 18th is so scary. After working together to resolve the crisis of Qigong wave, Marco and other captains collapsed one by one, and they had no desire to continue fighting with the 18th. Number 18 is too powerful. Don't look. They didn't confront the Qigong wave head-on, but under the bombardment of the Qigong wave, they had to withstand the impact that was so terrifying that it could no longer be terrifying, and then jointly bounce it into the air. All this is simple to say, but with their strength, it is not easy to do it. They don't think they can withstand the second wave of Qigong. Is it necessary to continue? On the 18th, looking at Marco and others who had completely lost their fighting spirit, they couldn't help but speak and asked Ye Chen. Well, Ye Chen's intention was to use Marco and Ace, the captains of the Whitebeard pirate group, to test the strength of the 18th. Unexpectedly, the strength of the 18th is beyond imagination. Marco and Ace are not her opponents at all. Of course, this is also related to the fact that the 18th is a beauty, and Marco and the big men, in order to maintain a gentleman's demeanor, they did not go to great lengths and tried their best to shoot. Otherwise, the 18th is indeed powerful, but Marco, Ace, and Vista, how can they be so silly? They attacked with all their strength, and it was still possible to fight the 18th for a period of time. After all, Marco and their strength lies there. It's not necessary, it's really unnecessary. We surrender, surrender. Hearing this, Marco spoke quickly. Nonsense, number 18 is too strong. They don't need to ask for trouble. Isn't it enough that Joe's is unconscious? In this regard, Marco is still very self-aware, and if you can't beat it, you can't beat it. It's not an unshakable enemy like Blackbeard teach, there really is no need to fight hard. Of course, there is another reason why he admits counseling so quickly, and that is that he understands it. Don't look at the cold appearance on the 18th, but he is indeed a ruthless person. Ye Chen explained the point in advance. She can still use the horrible moves of the Qigong cannon. It is difficult to guarantee that it will continue. She will not perform more terrifying moves. Therefore, Marco believes that it is better to admit it earlier. In this regard, the other captains naturally agreed with Marco. After all, none of them wanted to end up like Joe's. Besides, they don't have the powerful physique of George. If they are directly bombarded by Qigong cannons, they will end up, haha, you can imagine. I'm afraid I won't be able to get out of bed if I don't die. Since you don't think it is necessary, then forget it. Ye Chen will naturally not be overwhelmed by others. Moreover, on the 18th, she has already shown her super strength far surpassing Marco and others, and this competition is boring to continue. However, it would be too boring if things just ended like this. Fortunately, at this time, 2 hours have passed. According to the previous agreement, everyone who entered the spiritual time room for cultivating could already come out. Immediately, Ye Chen didn't have any hesitation, and directly summoned the spiritual time house in front of everyone, and then pulled the seeds, Ulquiorra and others out one after another. When people saw that Ye Chen turned into a house like magic, and then, when members of the Black Duck pirate group such as the seeds and Ulquiorra filed out of it one by one, it was natural to boil. Wow, I made a house out of thin air. How did Master Ye Chen do this? Is Lord Ye Chen a capable person? I remember Ye Chen is not a capable person. How can he do what a capable person can do? Isn't this nonsense? Who is Lord Ye Chen? What we ordinary people can't do, doesn't mean he can't do it. Right, Master Ye Chen is mighty. Master Ye Chen is awesome. The exclamation quickly turned into flattery. Chapter 253. Ye Chen was not surprised at this, and naturally did not take it seriously. Compared with the trash pirates, Marco, Ace and other captains performed better. Also, after all, they are very knowledgeable, and they are not surprised by the abilities of the capable people. What makes people a toy through contact, what pulls people into the mirror space, etc., is not more wonderful than a house out of thin air. They can only sigh that the world is so big that it is truly extraordinary. It turns out that someone can do such a magical thing without being able to do it. Ye Chen, Captain. The people who came out of the spiritual time room greeted Ye Chen one after another. After only 2 hours of absence, the state of these people can be said to have undergone a qualitative change. Either in the spirit of energy, or in terms of strength, earth-shaking changes have taken place. They are like a different person. In other words, they became stronger and more confident. Of course there are exceptions. Woo, Ye Chen, it's terrible inside, it's all 1,000-year-old corpse king. Perona never go in again. Perona said that she would be frightened by those ghosts in it. As soon as these words were uttered, Acedes and other members of the Black Crow pirate group couldn't help but turn Byakugan, even the naive Galio expressed serious doubts about it. Please, you are a Princess Mononoke, a ghost fruit-capable person, are you afraid of ghosts? Ghost letter. Well, the ghosts surrounding Perona, invisible to ordinary people, said that they did believe that Perona was frightened. And not once or twice, but several times. On the contrary, Ye Chen, he actually believed it. He knew that Perona was still young after all, and she was like a kid who liked to play with firecrackers and worried about being blown up. For ghosts, they are also both interested and scared. Well, it's okay, don't be afraid. Ye Chen comforted. However, before Perona was moved, Ye Chen said again, it's okay to do this kind of training a few times, and you won't be afraid anymore. Clam. Perona was moved and cried on the spot. I really cried. Perona said that she had tears flowing in her heart, and a few people knew the bitterness in her heart. When everyone saw Perona's bitter look, they couldn't help but feel happy. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Haha, it turns out to be molested with lowly Nyong, so interesting. Master Ye Chen, this spiritual time house is too suitable for cultivation, just 1 month. Oh no, the reality is only 2 hours later, my growth is beyond my imagination. Doflamingo couldn't help but speak. Yes, Captain, through this practice, my strength has improved a lot. Even Ulquiorra, who has always been cold, was a little excited because of the improvement in his strength. Master Captain, 1 queen is not enough. Next time, you can arrange more queens. Galio, 1 punch. Galio said triumphantly. It seems that a queen can no longer satisfy them. Everyone was very excited to talk about their cultivation in the world of spiritual time house. Only Acedes is an exception. Her gaze had long been on a blonde beauty who was as cold as hers. That's right, it's number 18. Who is she? Acedes asked, his tone full of warning. Also, no matter how good the breath of number 18 is, no one else can find the clue, but who is Acedes? She shares strength with Ye Chen. Naturally, after returning to the real world, she immediately noticed something wrong with the blonde beauty in front of her. A woman's instinct tells her that she is powerful. Ulquiorra and others heard this, and then they reacted. When they noticed the 18th, they were also shocked. The strength of this blonde beauty made them feel a little threat, but they didn't even notice it at first. What the hell is this? Moreover, if the breath of this blonde beauty is absent, what's the matter? For a while, the people who just came out of the spiritual time house were all curious about the 18th. Oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce to you, this is our new member of the Black Crow Pirates, the 18th. Now that Ace Day asked, Ye Chen naturally wanted to explain it to everyone. Number 18, is this a code? 0 Find Flowers 0. Han Galio asked. That's right. As a new member of our Black Crow Pirates group, the strength of number 18 cannot be underestimated. It just so happens that you just finished training from the mental time house. You will fight her. Let me see you how much has grown up during the training in the spiritual time house. Ye Chen said with interest. He is really curious, with the seeds, Ulquiorra, Galio and others, whether he can beat the number 18 with a combat power of hundreds of millions. If they can fight, does that mean that their combat effectiveness is also hundreds of millions? In this regard, Ye Chen is still very optimistic about seeds and them. Others don't talk about it, just seeds, who has shared his strength, should be able to compete with no. 18. 0. It's just that seeds doesn't have Ryūjin Jakka after all, so compared with Ye Chen, there is still a big gap. Of course, seeds' Ice Emperor tool is not bad, but can it withstand the Qigong wave that hurts and explodes in the Dragon Ball world? This is open to discussion. Do you want to fight no? 18. It's just what I want, but I can declare in advance that I won't be merciful. Ace Daisy said coldly when he heard the words. She is full of guard on the 18th. Of course, if you think about it, she has only been away for 2 hours. Ye Chen is surrounded by a beautiful blonde woman who can compare her with her, and the strength of this blonde woman makes her very fear. Most likely, she will take her place in the future and become the closest person to Ye Chen. In summary, can seeds be fully alert to the sudden emergence of number 18? Of course, seeds knows very well that the 18th must be the same as her, Ye Chen summoned from some other world. But it is precisely because of this that she can't take the 18th lightly. Sister seeds, are you too hostile to the newcomer? That's not good. Stupid Galio even whispered quietly beside seeds. Of course, it was ignored by seeds. Really? Just so, I won't be merciful. Hearing the words on the 18th, it was naturally a tit-for-tat confrontation with seeds. Force. Chapter 254. Perhaps, in the entire Black Crow Pirates group except Ye Chen, everyone is afraid of seeds. After all, no one wants to be frozen into an ice sculpture by this Ice Queen. And it is the kind of perpetual freezing, which can never be lifted. But who is no? 18. The evil cyborg number 18 is not a vain name. Others are afraid of seeds, she is not afraid. Doflamingo originally wanted to say something, but seeing the two beauties facing each other, the chill that broke out was chilling, and he immediately persuaded him. The same is true for others, and the scene fell into silence as a result. In the end, Ulquiorra broke the silence and said, I don't have any objection to fight against number 18, but, Captain, shall we go one by one or together? As soon as Ulquiorra said this, the captains of the Whitebeard pirates, Marco, couldn't help but look at each other. They seemed to have guessed Ye Chen's answer. Really? Of course it was together. Ye Chen said, come on together. Captain, you are not mistaken, although I have to admit that number 18 is very strong in breath, but our training in the spiritual time house this month is not in vain. Hearing this, Gario couldn't help but speak. Others were also a little surprised when they heard this. Especially seeds. She felt that she was more than enough to deal with the 18th by herself, but she really couldn't understand why Ye Chen arranged such an arrangement. Of course I'm not mistaken. Come on together and don't show mercy. The 18th can handle it. You are right, the 18th. Ye Chen said, turning his head to ask the 18th next to him. As soon as this remark came out, the members of the Black Crow Pirates didn't feel anything wrong. On the contrary, it was Marco and the others, but they were shocked. No, don't be merciful, are you serious about this? Thinking of just now, Ye Chen asked them to click until they were almost triggering the destruction of Wano Island. If you don't show mercy. .tsk, the consequences will make your scalp numb. Of course, hearing the words on the 18th, he immediately replied. Her answer was very brief. But it is precisely because of the briefness that makes people feel her self-confidence. Naive. Hearing this, seeds couldn't help but snorted coldly. She just can't understand the confident look of no. 18. Humph. Number 18 didn't say anything, just gave seeds a cold look. Briz, right, how many residents are there on Red Rock Island? Ye Chen spoke suddenly and asked. Residents. It seems that there are no residents. It is just a deserted island. Usually, when RAO pirates are stationed here, there will be people. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Brits answered truthfully. Really? That's good. Brits, if you don't want to lose your life on Red Rock Island, then you can quickly summon everyone and leave here by boat. Marco, you can also watch the battle, but I still recommend that you try not to stay on Red Rock Island. You can watch it on the pirate boat. Of course, it's best not to get too close to Hong Island. Ye Chen began to order. Good. Marco answered quickly. For Ye Chen, suddenly ordered, he naturally understood his intentions. It is nothing more than not wanting, because the 18th fought against the crew of the Black Duck Pirates, which affected the innocent. After all, when gods fight, do mortals suffer? After experiencing the previous Qigong wave crisis, let alone Ye Chen didn't explain it in advance, even if he didn't explain it, Marco and the others would lose everything they could and stay away from Hongyan Island as much as possible. They don't want to make jokes about their lives. Therefore, after Ye Chen ordered them down, they also quickly organized personnel to leave Hongyan Island by boat. Try to go to a safe place in the middle of the sea, and then stop to watch the battle. I really want to go together. That's okay. Because of this, Galio was eager to try. The same goes for Ulquiorra, Doflamingo, Luo and others. The breath of the 18th did come to make them feel a sense of threat, but they really didn't believe it. With a few of them working together, plus 1 month of cultivating in the spiritual time house, they would not be able to beat a newcomer on the 18th. When everyone was eager to try, Ye Chen spoke again. Perona, you should stay by my side and watch the game with me. Considering that Perona's strength is really not at the same level as others, even Doflamingo and Luo are far behind. In order to avoid her innocent death due to the fighting, Ye Chen decided to keep her by his side. Really? Yeah, great. Perona heard the words and rushed to Ye Chen excitedly. Others don't understand, and you are not allowed to participate in the war, isn't it because you are the weakest, you are still so happy? Of course, Perona's ideas are indeed different from those of others. Others are constantly thinking about becoming stronger, and wanting to show their great strength in order to gain Ye Chen's favor. But she doesn't care so much, as long as there is no life threatening, no injury, no fear, it is the best. Well, that's it, brother Ye Chen. Perona came to Ye Chen, but she became shy. There is no way of being a Princess Mononoke. She is more like a good girl, standing next to Ye Chen obediently. Okay. Ye Chen rubbed Perona's head and nodded as a response. Let's start. When all the irrelevant personnel dispersed, and both parties were already in their positions, Ye Chen just spoke. Following Ye Chen's order, the 18th took the lead. She has always done things decisively and will not think too much. Besides, she has many enemies with one enemy, and her opponents are very powerful, so she naturally has to seize the opportunity. Supersonic punch. Number 18 screamed and punched out. Even if she faced her future companions, she did not show any mercy at all. So powerful. But Galio is not bad, depending on my Justice punch. Galio immediately counterattacked, with a righteous punch, blasting towards the 18th supersonic punch. Just what? Galio let out a scream, and then he was knocked into the air. He was blown away by a punch. How can that be? Impossible. Her supersonic punch is so much stronger than my righteous punch. Galio was stupid. He didn't expect the impact of the number 18 supersonic punch to be so powerful. Even his heavyweight, whose weight is calculated in tons, was blown into the sky by the impact. Fortunately, Galio's magical physique was not comparable to that of Diamond Joe's. He was just blasted into the sky, but he was fine. Chapter 255. Doflamingo and Luo, who were following Galio, were dumbfounded when they saw this. They also felt the terrifying impact of the number 18 supersonic punch. Now, they are hard to get off the tiger, nor can they go up, and it is too late to retreat. But at this moment, Acid's icy voice suddenly sounded. Get out of the way. This punch is not something you can resist, let me come. Ice crack God fist. Acids lined up the crowd, turned into a blue light, took the lead, and rushed forward. Boom. The fists of the two beauties collided with each other. Suddenly, a super strong wave swept away. Doflamingo and Luo, who were following behind, were almost overwhelmed by this super strong wave. You know, after the two of them have practiced in the spiritual time house for the first month, their strength has skyrocketed, which is different now. Even a battle with the old Marine Admiral is more than enough. But no matter what, they were really almost overwhelmed by this blast. Wow, how strong is this number 18? Doflamingo and Luo 09 were stunned. Fortunately, Acids is in front of him. Otherwise, let them face the 18th supersonic punch, and the consequences can be imagined. The two are afraid that if not, they will be seriously injured if they die. Wow, the air wave spread wildly, and it spread to the middle of the sea. The originally calm sea suddenly became turbulent and surging. Marco, Ace and others who were standing on the deck watching the battle were already prepared tomorrow morning, but they were shocked to see this scene. Number 18 is so strong. The Ice Queen Acids is not bad. Unexpectedly, the two female members of the Black Crow Pirates are strong enough to crush the captains of our Whitebeard Pirates. Alas. Someone couldn't help sighing. Others heard this and fell into contemplation. Indeed, every member of the Black Crow Pirate group is too powerful. As the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates, they used to be the objects of admiration, but compared with the members of the Black Crow Pirates, they, simply incomparable. Especially no. 18, Acids, and Ulquiorra. Which one is not crushing their existence? Thinking of this, each of them will inevitably feel a little disappointed. But there is also a hint of relief. Indeed, only such a powerful Black Crow pirate group is qualified to make them the Whitebeard pirate group willingly to become its subordinate. If the Black Crow pirates are just a little stronger than the Whitebeard pirates, then they are forced to become the pirates of the Black Crow pirates, and they will definitely become the laughing stock of the pirates all over the world. But now, who dares to laugh at them? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Don't you see, even the most arrogant beasts pirates is now a pirate group under the Black Crow pirate group. After the 18th collided with Acid's fists, it was just a stalemate. The huge wave of air soon separated the two. The two retreated hundreds of meters each. Oh, it's interesting. After stopping, number 18 couldn't help but speak. Unexpectedly on the 18th, besides Ye Chen who summoned her, someone in this world could hit her head on. Suddenly, the 18th had such a lost interest in Acids. Of course, Ace Daisy said arrogantly. However, after a pause, she reluctantly added. You are not bad. Ye Chen heard this and was happy. It seems that Ace Daisy, a little girl, is still quite arrogant. As expected to be the queen of ice, she is so cute when she looks arrogant. You are really strong, but I don't know if you can handle my trick. Number 18 opened the door. After the collision of fists just now, the two beauties were a little bit cherished. Also, since ancient times, heroes cherish heroes. What's more, there are not many beauties who can be so powerful. However, even if they are sympathetic to each other, number 18 does not show any mercy at all. She has always been ruthless. Qigong wave. With a sharp shout, number 18 pointed at Acids and stretched out her right hand. Hardly need to gather, the next second. Boom. A light wave illuminating the entire sky suddenly shot out from No 18's right hand. What is this? Doflamingo was shocked. Even if it is the impact of the Buddha of Sengoku, it is nothing more than that. This impact can be so powerful. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Doflamingo wouldn't want to believe that the shock wave could be so powerful. He always thought that Kizaru's laser was powerful enough, and Martial Sengoku's Buddha's impact in the form of a giant Buddha was even better. But now, the shock wave of these two people is nothing compared to the Qigong wave sent out on the 18th. The shock wave in this world can really reach such a powerful and terrifying point. Doflamingo, who has always been proud of his ability to kill invisible 5-color strings, feels that the 5-color strings in his hand are suddenly not fragrant. Luo was also shocked. He clearly feels that his strength has skyrocketed after a month of cultivation in the spiritual time house, which is not what it used to be. Even, you can fight Admiral. But after seeing the Qigong wave on the 18th, how did he feel that everything he did was unnecessary? Nothing can be compared to it, and no matter how hard you work the day after tomorrow, it can't be compared. For a while, Luo, who was clearly hailed as a genius, became a little depressed. This is how people compare to people, is it annoying? He obviously came from a genius. In addition to Doflamingo and Luo, Ulquiorra and Galio were also surprised. What kind of power is this? Ulquiorra obviously didn't face the Qigong bow, but the incredible power made him, the great demon king from hell, his face turned a little pale. He felt threatened. Such a powerful threat. Perhaps, only when he enters the 3-stage return state, he has the ability to contend with it. As for Galio, he was even more stunned. Impossible, this surge of energy is even scarier than the surge of magical energy. Such pure power. Galio muttered. Such pure power has gone beyond the scope of magic. This cannot be the power that should exist in this world. Sure enough, the 18th, like me, Ulquiorra, and Galio, was summoned by Ye Chen from another world. Ace Daisy deserves to be Ace Daisy. Facing the oncoming Qigong wave, she even thought about it in a leisurely manner. Chapter 256. Partner News. However, in the face of such a powerful Qigong wave, even Acids can't handle it. I can't compete with this power, I can only try my best. Knowing that he can't compete with Qigong wave, Acid still plans to give it a try. After all, she is now the only person who has shared Ye Chen's strength. No matter how she said, she can't make Ye Chen ashamed. Emperor. Demon God appears essence of devil. Moko bottom. With Ace Desi's scream, people could see it to the naked eye, and everything around her was covered with a layer of frost. Everything is frozen, including time. The flow of time became extremely slow in the area covered by Mokobotem. Even the Qigong wave that shoots towards Acids at the speed of light, at this moment, has become as slow as a snail. But the crisis has not been resolved. No matter how slow the flow of time is, once the Qigong wave hits the target, it bursts out and releases the power of destroying the world, then the entire Hongyan Island and even the nearby waters will be inevitable. Hi, Marco, Ace and others who were watching the battle on a ship far away in the sea couldn't help taking a breath when they saw it. Think about them not long ago, when several of their captains joined forces, they barely resolved the Qigong wave crisis. Moreover, it did not destroy the Qigong wave, but guided it into the air, let it explode in the air, and released all its power. Thinking about it now, they still have lingering fears. They wanted to see how Acids and the others would deal with the world-destroying Qigong wave on the 18th. Mokobotomo made the flow of time very slow, which gave Acids a lot of time to think about countermeasures. Unfortunately, even with plenty of time, Acids can't think of a way to deal with the 18th Qigong wave. Exhibiting another hidden ability of the Ice Emperor, Ice Land Admiral Army. This move, that is an AoE, large area, damage explosion, can freeze thousands of miles in an instant, killing thousands of people. But if you really want to deal with this concentrated shock wave energy, this trick doesn't help much at all. As Acids frowned, Ulquiorra and Galio joined the battle. The Qigong wave on the 18th is too powerful, and none of us can handle it alone. Let's join hands. Ulquiorra, who has always been arrogant, unexpectedly made a request for cooperation like Acids. You know, even if this guy is facing the beast Kaido in his heyday, he has never asked anyone to join forces. He has a high regard for self and thinks that he is strong enough, and he has always disdained to join hands with others to deal with opponents. But now, he has to do it. Blame it, the 18th is damn strong. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's too powerful. Sister Acids, I'm here to help you too. Han Galio also yelled, flapping his wings behind him and rushing over. He is really naive, and he still doesn't know that Acids is very annoying that he calls her eldest sister. It seems that she is very old. But Galio called Acids sister, purely to express his strong respect for Acids. It's like when he calls Ye Chen the captain, the word, adult, is always added at the end. But now, Acids can't care so much. Acids, as well as me and Luo. Doflamingo also stepped on the transparent 5-color strings and rushed over with Luo. In front of anyone, Doflamingo looks like 205, except in front of Ye Chen and Acids. Because after Acids became stronger, he became more proficient in his ability to control Mokobotomo. Therefore, even if the time around her is frozen, she can also let them, like her, move freely in the frozen time and space. Like the people outside, they are not affected by the freezing of time. Okay, Acids still looks unmoved on the surface, but in fact, there are still some touches in his heart. Is this a companion? Companion who can pay for your life? This is the feeling that Acids has never experienced before as a big villain in the world of beheading. At this moment, she suddenly understood why Ye Chen valued his companion so much, that his strength was already invincible. What he wants to do, can't he be unscrupulous, why bother with companions? But now, she understands. Just because a true companion can entrust his life. Companion is the trust you can rely on when you are in desperate situation. Taking advantage of the freezing of time on the 18th, the action is slow, I will deal with Chigonbo, you guys take the opportunity to deal with the 18th. Ulquiorra said, sending out a black Sero, smashing towards the Qigong wave. At the same time, the three of Galio, Doflamingo, and Luo took the opportunity to walk around in front of number 18 and plan to do something on number 18. We think. Affected by the freezing of time on the 18th, the action really became very slow, and even the words were spoken for a long time. Can the time freeze limit me? But that was only temporary, just a second or two. On the 18th, relying on her strength, she broke free of time. The first thing that changed was that her speaking speed became normal. Immediately afterwards, she freed up one hand to fight 1 against 3. Boom. Bang bang. Boom. After a fierce battle, Galio, Doflamingo, and Luo made a scream at the same time, and then they were shot into flight. And all this is a long story, but it only happened in an instant. Everyone just blinked. The 18th, who was still slow, knocked the 3 of Galio into the air in an instant. Number 18, too strong. Marco, Ace and others couldn't help but exclaimed, how Zhao. In this way, they felt that they were not embarrassed by the fact that their team captains lost so badly under the number 18 player. Didn't you see that even if it is as powerful as Galio, under the 18th player, there is only a beating? While hitting Galio, Doflamingo and Luo on the 18th, Ulquiorra's black Sero, which had accumulated a lot of energy, also collided with Chigonbo. At the same time, Acids also pulled out the saber around his waist. The ice blue saber is covered with a layer of advanced armament Haki, she is trying to cut the wave of Qigong. Are you going together? Hey, it's just right. Upon seeing this on the 18th, the power of Qigong wave was increased. Suddenly, boom, Ulquiorra's black Sero fell into the Qigong wave, only a small explosion was produced, and then it was completely swallowed by the more powerful Qigong wave. Chapter 257. Ulquiorra was even almost bounced out because of the huge impact of the explosion. Fortunately, he was strong enough to resist. As for Acids, the sword that he was going to cut out came to an abrupt end. The Qigong wave at the beginning was already strong enough, but now, after increasing its power, it becomes even stronger. If Acids does not stop her hands and insists on smashing the Qigong wave, there will probably only be one end. That is, the Qigong wave is not only unbreakable, it is very likely that her sword will be completely destroyed by the Qigong wave. Upon seeing this on the 18th, instead of stopping, he continued to increase the energy output of the atmospheric power wave. Even if you know that the person in front of you is your future companion, it is absolutely impossible to release the water on the 18th. If you want to be her recognized companion, you have to use the corresponding strength. Otherwise, everything will be destroyed for me. If they are just a bunch of trash, they will be destroyed if they are destroyed, and the master will not blame it on the 18th. The 18th thought so. Qigong waves are getting bigger and bigger. Energy is expanding, bursting, and on the verge of losing control. Even if it's still time, it's gradually unable to control the energy that destroys the world and the earth is out of control. No way, Mokbo Timo can no longer control the Qigong wave. Acid said to his companion. There is no way, I can only come up with real skills. Ulquiorra said suddenly. Yeah, I have long wanted to show my skills, but unfortunately, there are not many people in this world who can let me show my skills. Galio also spoke. At this moment, he was not silly at all, but became extremely serious. And Doflamingo and Luo, they also became serious at this moment. Okay. Acids responded to them indifferently. Oh. Seeing this on the 18th, I was a little surprised, but the interest became more and more intense. Interesting, really interesting. If it is them, maybe they are qualified to be my companions. The 18th thought so. Originally, she didn't intend to accept them as her companions. But if it were them, maybe it would be acceptable. Ahem, having said that, shouldn't it be Acids and the old members who are planning to accept the 18th as their companions? How come they become the 18th and accept them as their companions instead? Isn't this the reverse? However, this is also a matter of course, who made her the 18th? I'm here to attack, you help me. After Acids dropped a word, regardless of whether Ulquiorra agreed or opposed, they dragged the long knife in their hands and rushed towards the Qigong wave that had already begun time and space. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At this moment, Qigong Bo is still slow like a snail, but in the next second, when it breaks through the stillness of time, it will not be like that. Ulquiorra and others heard that, even if they wanted to oppose it, they couldn't help it. Acids has rushed forward, they can only do their best to cooperate with her. Who made her the strongest among them? Click, click. The still time is finally broken. Qigong Bo broke free. Bo. The Qigong wave turned into a ray of light and swallowed Acids in an instant. Wow. All members of the AO pirate group and Whitebeard pirate group were shocked when they saw this scene. However, at the same time, Ace Desi's icy jealousy broke through the huge rumbling sound of the Qigong wave and rang. One sword stream, extreme ice fire. As Acid's voice sounded, a tingling scene appeared. The Qigong wave, which was obviously a very unstable energy body, was actually frozen. It's just that the energy of the Qigong wave is so unstable, how can it be frozen? Even the ice of absolute zero cannot freeze it. Crackle. Boom. Sure enough, the Qigong wave broke through the ice in the next second and burst out even more violently. For a while, the entire Ryūjin Island was trembling. The whole sea is surging. At this moment, Ryūjin Island is more like a flat boat. It seems that there is always silence in the waves of the sea. Ah, no, this is too scary. Perona was stunned, hiding behind Ye Chen, shivering. Brother Ye Chen, let's run, this island is going to sink. It's okay. Ye Chen replied casually. Only he, in the midst of this turbulent wind and rain, can remain indifferent. Marco, Ace and others, who were obviously far away in the sea, were all shocked by this scene. They were fortunate that they did not support the big, and they ran far enough. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to be affected by this fairy fight. After listening to Ye Chen's comfort, Perona calmed down. The camera returns to the Qigong wave. Qigong wave broke through the icy ice, but is this over? Not at all. The moment the ice burst, an even more incredible scene happened. The ice turned into flames. Is it true that at the extreme point of ice, breaking through absolute zero turned out to be a blaze? After the ice was shattered by the Qigong wave, a burst of flame energy that Ye Chen was very familiar with rose into the sky. The flames soared into the sky, and the redness of the flames actually overshadowed the dazzling whiteness of Qigong Bo. This is the flame of Ryūjin Jakka. If it weren't for Reiatsu very well, Ye Chen would have almost mistakenly thought that this was the blazing flames released by Ryūjin Jakka. But Ye Chen knows very well that Acids does not have Ryūjin Jakka at all, and she cannot release the flame energy of Ryūjin Jakka. All this is nothing but what she imitated based on her familiarity with the flame energy of Ryūjin Jakka. Oh, is this the new move you have cultivated during your month in the spiritual time house? Ye Chen nodded. Obviously, he was very satisfied with the performance of Acids. What Ye Chen said is correct. This is a new technique that Acids cultivated during the 1-month training time in the spiritual time house. She is so strong that she doesn't need to rely on the Ice Emperor's equipment anymore. Therefore, it is natural to seek a breakthrough. And she combined the swordsmanship of this world, and the one sword style she cultivated was the best proof of breakthrough. Super Big Black Sarrow. Magic Frenzy. 5-color strings upright liberation. Surgery Slaughterhouse. At the same time, Ulquiorra, Galio, Doflamingo and Luo also displayed their powerful moves. However, these moves fell on the wave of Qigong, like a clay cow entering the sea, and did not cause many waves. Rumble. At the same time, Qigongbo and Acids' sword Qi were still contending. Chapter 258. The terrifying ice and fire knife aura is indeed powerful. While freezing the Qigong wave, flames erupted and violently collided with the Qigong wave. But even so, there is still such a lack of fire. Yes, a little bit of fire. On the 18th, after all, it is better than Acids. Seeing that, Ace Desi is at any time under the impact of Qigong wave, it may not be able to hold it. At this time, Ulquiorra and the 4 of them no longer fight each other, they have contributed their own strength to Ace Day. With the continuous influx of power, Acids immediately seemed to have changed. Condensing the strength of all her companions, she is no longer alone. Break it to me, 2 heavens of ice and fire. Ace Desi's light blue hair, written in the pouring of energy, flew one after another. She was under the impact of the energy of the Qigong wave, but on the contrary, the energy of the Qigong wave couldn't get close to her. At this moment, a Seeds is so heroic and handsome. Super Saiyan. Had it not been for the Super Saiyans, number 18 would have almost mistakenly thought that a Seeds' current state was the Super Saiyan state. After a Seeds yelled, he slashed out. Boom. Ice and fire divided the world. The two extremes of ice and fire were perfectly integrated in this knife. Rumble. Bang. After the violent collision of Dao Qi and Qigong Wave, the Qigong Wave was actually crushed by ice and fire. Ace Daisy smashed the Qigong Wave on the 18th. Wow, how can that be? Real or fake? Marco, Ace, and Foil are frightened and stupefied. The team captains of them, more than a dozen of them, can only lead the terrifying wave of Qigong to the sky and resolve this crisis. And a Seeds and the 5 of them joined forces and they broke the Qigong Wave. For a while, Marco and others were ashamed. They can see clearly, how far is their strength compared to a Seeds and others. They can't even compare to a Seeds, Ulquiorra and Galio, let alone number 18. Of course, Ye Chen. Thinking that Ye Chen should be stronger than number 18, they couldn't help but take a breath. How strong is he? Did it solve my Qigong Wave? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The 18th also felt a little weird. She originally thought that if a Seeds and the others wanted to solve her Qigong Wave, they could only guide the Qigong Wave to the sky or the sea like Marco and the others. It seems that these guys are indeed qualified to be her companions. However, it's not over yet. Qigongbo is at best my most unpretentious trick of shockwave. Number 18 said lightly. It's not over yet, isn't it? When Marco, Ace and others heard this, they were frightened. They knew that when they dealt with them on the 18th, they didn't do their best. Except the move, Qi Yuan cut. The cold and merciless voice of number 18 sounded again. When people saw the condensed Qigong Wave on the 18th, forcibly compressed into a huge luminous disk, everyone on the scene took a breath of cold air except Ye Chen. Wow, can shockwave still work like this? What does the 18th want to do? Does she really want to ruin the entire Hongyan Island? No, it's 1,000 miles away. Marco, Ace and others almost all set their sights on Ye Chen. They think Ye Chen shouldn't say something at this time to stop the excited 18th. However, Ye Chen did not do so. He just folded his hands on his chest and looked at the scene with interest. Isn't it over yet? Ace Desi's crisp voice sounded. We didn't play either. The next situation, one can imagine, is naturally another fierce battle. Bow, bang, rumble, the earth is turbulent, and the sea is rolling and roaring. For a time, it seems that only black and white are left in the world. After all, Hongyan Island was unable to withstand the huge impact. In a certain explosion of the 18th and a Seeds, it continued to disintegrate, and finally, it was silent in the seabed. As for Perona on the island, naturally, under the protection of Ye Chen, she floated in the air unharmed. Wow, the sea swallowed the entire Hongyan Island. Everyone in the AO pirate group looked at this scene, all of them stupid. Zero find flowers zero. This was their former safe haven. They were affected in the battle of a group of people, and it just sank. Think about it, they think they are too sad. Compared with the people in front of them, their strength is as weak as ants. Can't bear it anymore. But the show has just begun. Super Qigong Wave. Soon, Ulquiorra, Galio, Doflamingo and Luo were all gone. The only one who can barely fight is a Seeds. As for the 18th, relying on being a man-made, possessing infinite energy, and almost always tireless, it is the more excited he is after the war. No, she condensed a Super Qigong Wave, that Super Qigong Wave like a little sun, undoubtedly everyone present brought the most direct sense of oppression. ... Even Ye Chen feels a little stressed. He might not be able to resist such a powerful Super Qigong Wave. If such a huge wave of Qigong is really smashed down, I am afraid that everything will be destroyed in a radius of thousands of miles. Do I have to do it? Ulquiorra was panting. He was hesitating, whether to use the 3-stage return, and only when he enters the 3-stage return, can he stop this crazy blonde beauty. Fortunately, at this moment, Ye Chen's voice finally rang. Enough, on the 18th, the test is over, stop it. Seeing that things got worse and might get out of control at any time, Ye Chen could only stop it. Or, could it really make the Super Qigong Wave hit the 18th, destroying everything in the house for thousands of miles? Besides, this is the site of Whitebeard, which is equivalent to the site of the Black Crow Pirates. Ye Chen's own territory, if the 18th is destroyed, wouldn't he be a big loss? Quote. Hearing the words on the 18th, naturally, the energy output was quickly interrupted. For a time, the energy of the Super Qigong Wave, which was huge like a little sun, quickly dissipated. It's just that, Ye Chen was too slow to speak. The Super Qigong Wave was formed in just one step. Even if the energy output was interrupted on the 18th, it was still too late. Force. Chapter 259. The Super Qigong Wave that hadn't formed yet, after breaking away from the control of number 18, collapsed while smashing into the sea. No, run. Damn, is there still a need to run? With such a big shock wave, none of us can run away. No, it was just a well-sized Qigong Wave before. We can only guide it to the sky. This Super Qigong Wave is even bigger than the entire Hongyan Island. The members of the Whitebeard pirate group and the AO pirate group suddenly fell into panic and despair. Not good. Hurry up. When Acids saw this, they were also a little flustered. However, what can they do? The battle on the 18th has consumed too much of their strength, and now they simply can't stop this super huge Qigong wave. Seeing that Super Qigong Bow 273 was about to fall to the surface of the sea, then it would cause a huge tsunami and destroy everything. At this moment, a dark red light flashed by. Compared with the pure white light emitted by Super Qigong wave, this dark red light appeared so weak. But no matter how weak it is, the pure white light still cannot cover its faint light, but it is by no means a weak light. It's Ye Chen. I don't know who screamed, and everyone came back to their senses. Yes, Ye Chen rushed to Super Qigong Bow in an instant. What does he want to do? This is crazy too. Does he want to stop the Super Qigong wave? If it is him, maybe it can be done. These thoughts just flashed in people's minds. Ye Chen had already taken action. Sunny. Everything is ashes. Ryūjin Jakka. Torch. After chanting, Ye Chen pulled out Ryūjin Jakka from his waist. Whoosh. Cut out with a single knife and turned into a fire dragon. The fire dragon roared endlessly, opened its teeth and danced its claws, and rushed into the Super Qigong wave like a little sun without hesitation. In Setsuna, which collided with Super Qigong wave, it once again turned into the purest flame knife energy, slashing on the Super Qigong wave. Boom. Accompanied by a super huge mushroom cloud, it soars into the air above the sea. The Super Qigong wave, which was as huge as a little sun, dissipated unexpectedly. The fierce sword gas turned into ashes. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This. People are dumbfounded. Is this the strength of Ye Chen, the Qigong wave that they couldn't fight for their lives? Ye Chen just destroyed it with a casual stab. This is too strong. So strong. Even the 18th had to sigh. She knows how powerful Ye Chen is. No wonder, she can be summoned into this world. Of course, compared with the shock of the 18th, Ye Chen's shock is not small. This knife seemed easy, but in fact, he displayed at least 80% of his strength. The strength of the 18th can be said to be on par with him. After getting rewards for several summoning missions, Ye Chen can be considered clear. The system's summoning reward is not just to summon a character randomly. There is actually a limit to who can be summoned. That is, Ye Chen's strength must reach the summoned character's strength. In other words, when Ye Chen was not strong enough, he couldn't summon the 18th, and the reward for signing in could only be rewards for items such as the spiritual time house. Of course, in other words, it is also true, that is, the characters summoned by the system will always be a little weaker than Ye Chen. Yes, after all, you have to guarantee that Ye Chen, the protagonist, is the strongest. After Ye Chen took action and resolved this huge crisis, this matter came to an end. On the 18th, she demonstrated her superpower. She became a member of the Black Crow Pirates, and no one dared to object. Unless, he doesn't want to live anymore. As for Acids, after this fight, she has a feeling of sympathy for the 18th, and naturally she will not repel her anymore. The Black Crow Pirates has always been in a state of prosperity and decline. Now, with the addition of the 18th, the scene has also undergone some changes. In addition to Ye Chen, the Black Crow Pirates has 4 men and 3 women, which is quite balanced. Soon, the Hades arrived at Ryūjin Island, if Ryūjin Island still exists, as agreed. Looking at Acids, number 18 and Perona, the 3 sisters, the back view of boarding the ship together. Everyone noticed an interesting thing. Acids has light blue hair, size 18 is blonde, and Perona's hair color is pink 0. 3 beauties, 3 different hairstyle colors. They are the 3 flowers of the Black Crow Pirates. 3 beautiful women standing together, I have to say, it is really a pleasing scenery. Well, the matter ended like this. However, when the Pluto was about to leave, Ace suddenly boarded the Pluto. What's the matter, little brother Ace? Doflamingo couldn't help but asked. The dangling idiot dragged on with a 200 and 505% expressions, and people who watched couldn't wait to beat him up on the spot. Of course, no one would dare to be so nonsense with Ye Chen. Ye Chen, I want to stay on the Hades for a while, okay. Ace ignored Doflamingo, but directly spoke to Ye Chen. Oh, Ye Chen is noncommittal. Hearing the words, Ace naturally understood what Ye Chen meant, and immediately he explained the reason why he wanted to stay in the Hades. It turned out that he had heard the conversation between Acids and the others who had just come out of the spiritual time house before, and he had roughly learned some information. That is, the room Ye Chen summoned before, it seems to be called the spiritual time room, which is very suitable for cultivation. This can be seen from Doflamingo and Luo, who were originally equal in strength with Ace, but are now much stronger than Ace. And Ace is very eager to become stronger, so that he will have the opportunity to find revenge for the unshakable Blackbeard Teach. For Blackbeard Teach, Ace hated him, after all, he was the culprit who killed the old man Whitebeard. But helpless, now Ace's strength is a little bit behind Blackbeard Teach. Therefore, Ace did not recklessly seek revenge on Blackbeard Teach under the obstacle of Marco and others. Now, there is an opportunity in front of Ace, and Ace naturally knows how to cherish it. He knew that only staying on the Pluto was the fastest way for him to become stronger. Even if there is no spiritual time house, there are still superpowers such as Ye Chen, Seeds, number 18, and Ulquiorra on the Hades. He casually finds someone to practice with him. To improve his strength, isn't it a matter of minutes? Chapter 260. Therefore, Ace was cheeky and asked to stay on the Pluto. That's it, whatever. After listening to Ace's explanation, Ye Chen naturally did not refuse Ace to stay on the Pluto. After all, with Ace's strength, he is also eligible to join the Black Crow Pirates and become one of the full members. Of course, Ace is obviously unlikely to join the Black Crow Pirates. After all, he still has to inherit Whitebeard's will, lead the Whitebeard Pirates, and continue to maintain peace in the new world. In this regard, Ye Chen naturally does not force it. Ace can do whatever he wants. Ace, do you really plan to stay on the Pluto? Well, as long as you don't recklessly go to teach to avenge your father, you can do whatever you want. After being silent for a while, Beasta spoke. Don't worry, Ace, your brother on ship 2, I will take care of it for you. Marco promised to pat his chest. In this way, the group parted ways. The Pluto slowly drove towards the setting sun. That is, the site of the Black Crow CO9 thieves. New World, Marine G1 branch. Of course, now the Marine G1 branch has been transformed into a new Marine headquarters. At this moment, Kuzan Aokiji, who is the new Marine headquarters marshal, is very distressed. Because there were already people, Xingxi asked the crime. I said Aokiji, what do you mean? Isn't it good to dislike my righteous sister Taudu? Just abandon her like this. The chief of staff of Marine headquarters, Suru, scolded in a loud voice. People who don't know might think that Aokiji and Taudu have some unknown relationship. Then, after Aokiji became the Marine headquarters marshal, she cruelly abandoned Taudu. Of course, this cannot be the case. Sister He, don't you say that, okay, others will misunderstand. Taudu on the side quickly spoke. She is also very helpless. Such an old sister was on the stall. Peach Rabbit, don't talk, today, I will definitely seek justice for your sister. Aokiji, what do you mean? Our Peach Rabbit is not good anymore. Since you have appointed a newcomer to serve as Marine 3 Admiral, you will not use her. She is Admiral's substitute, she originally existed as Admiral's substitute. Marine Admiral alternate, isn't it more qualified to be Marine Admiral than two guys of unknown origin? He asked with a loud voice. As for Kizaru on the side, and Marine Hero Lieutenant General Garp, the two of them, instead of helping to persuade Aokiji, looked at Aokiji with a gleeful face. Especially Kizaru, his smiley face, as if he was talking. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Oh, brother Aokiji, now you understand why I am not interested in being a Marine headquarters marshal anymore. In this regard, Kizaru and Garp are quite similar. Both of them are not interested in the Marine headquarters marshal. Facing Crane's question, Aokiji was helpless and could only explain. No way, this is an order from above. Crane staff, as you know, in appointing a new Marine Admiral, the top level of the world government is newer than me. The incoming Marine headquarters marshal has more power. Aokiji now understands the difficulties of Sengoku back then. It is too difficult to be a good marshal in Marine headquarters. Especially in this world that has decayed to the bone. I don't care about orders from above. Marine Admiral, it's nothing more than strength. You let the two new Marine Admiral, what is the name of the tiger and what is the cow, and compares with the Peach Rabbit and T-Dolphin. By comparison, if the two of them can beat the Peach Rabbit and the T-Dolphin, my old lady will admit that they are Marine Admiral. Crane yelled. In that case, the old man naturally accepted it. A thick sound suddenly sounded in the corner of the room, and then a middle-aged man sitting cross-legged on the ground stood up from the ground. He closed his eyes tightly, and it turned out that Fujitora smiled. Of course, Green Bull is also there. He only then realized that they both were actually there. The breath of these two people is too good to hide. Worthy of being an incognito person for many years. Peach Rabbit, go and call the T-Dolphin. As long as you two can beat the two of them, I want to see the 5 old guys in 5 elders, what else can I say? Oh, yes, it looks like there are only 4 old guys left now. Having said that, he still did not forget to mock 5 elders. As a whole Marine, it is estimated that only she and Garp would dare not put 5 elders in their eyes. After all, no matter how they say it, the seniority is there. Only a few people present knew what happened next. It is said that a fierce battle for Admiral took place at Marine headquarters. As for the final result of this incident, it was naturally Fujitora and Green Bull who became Admiral. At this point, it came to an end. The Black Crow Pirates group restored the peace of the past. During this period, except for the red-haired Shanks, after visiting Ye Chen and leading him to a masked figure, the Black Crow Pirates can be said that nothing major happened. Even trivial things rarely happen. Also, with the reputation of the Black Crow Pirates, it has grown stronger. Even in New World, there are not many who dare to challenge the Black Crows and thieves. After all, that is equivalent to purely seeking death. Therefore, for the next period of time, the Black Crow Pirates group lived quite peacefully. Except for Ace, who wanted revenge and was full of enthusiasm, constantly looking for people on the boat to challenge, everyone else was lazy. Ye Chen didn't give much advice to Ace, but every day, except for half an hour of pointing Ace, he had nothing to do at other times. Quiet days are moldy. Of course, these calms are actually an illusion. It wasn't until one day that a mysterious visitor came to the Black Crow Pirates, and the peaceful days ended. It turned out to be the top of the world government, one of the five elders, Kai. One day ago, Mary Geoy's World Government Headquarters building. In a spacious and bright conference room. What, Lord Yim, do you really plan to invite Ye Chen to serve as five elders? Master Yim, never do it. Ye Chen is a disaster. You must not keep him by your side, let alone let him take on important positions like five elders. Yeah, five elders has great rights. If he relies on his own rights to mess around, wouldn't it be? Yes, that is, I hope Master Yim will think twice. The four remaining five elders all persuaded them one after another. They were completely shocked by what Im had said before. Chapter 261. Let Ye Chen fill the vacant position of five elders, isn't this a joke? How does this work? Ye Chen is their confidant. If he were to become five elders and become colleagues with them, wouldn't the whole world be messed up? Furthermore, his identity is not the noble celestial dragons. I don't know who it is, said something. To shut up. Sitting on the high throne, Im, with a mysterious iron mask on his face, suddenly spoke. The voice is so ruthless, full of disdain and contempt. However, facing the lofty Lord Yimu, he and the others did not dare to have a temper at all. After all, he is the man, the master of the Void Throne, the one who rules their lives. Why, do you still have opinions? Since you can't beat him, then confess him. Why, don't you want me to go out for a mere mortal? Yim continued, so domineering. No. Dare not. Five elders responded. How dare they, and they are not qualified. If you want to regain the qualifications of five elders and regain the rights that were deprived, you must do what I say. Yim spoke again. There is no room for the tone. You are responsible for this matter. Remember, no matter what conditions you promise Ye Chen, you must make him a five elders. But, what if, no matter what the conditions, he won't agree? Chi Yi was a little embarrassed. No, if Ye Chen is a smart man, he will agree. I am very confident. After saying this, he waved his sleeves and he disappeared into the room. In the spacious room, only the voice of I am Yo-Yo remained. Call. The five elders didn't breathe a sigh of relief until Im disappeared. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The four of them are old guys, who are usually respected, but they dare not let go in front of their Lord Yim. Why, you came to the Pluto just to be in a daze. What's the matter? Let's talk, the Black Crow Pirates don't welcome you back. Ye Chen said coldly. Hearing that, five elders, the big knife, only after Chi Yifeng came back to his mind. Ye Chen, you still talk so straight. Okay, the old man doesn't talk nonsense with you, just talk straight. That's it. After discussing with Lord Yim, we decided to let you become the new five elders to fill the vacancy. As expected, Chi Yi didn't talk nonsense, and straightforwardly stated the purpose of his coming here. However, he said that it was Yim's idea and said that it was the result of their discussions between five elders and Yim. It can be seen that he still values face very much, so naturally he will not admit that they, five elders, are actually just five lackeys in front of Im. What? Make Master Captain one of the five elders. Hearing this, Doflamingo was the first to scream. Everyone on the scene, his knowledge of five elders can be said to be the deepest, and Ye Chen can't even match it. He knows very well that it is not easy to become five elders. First of all, your identity must be celestial dragons. Second, you must be old enough so that your experience is rich enough. Otherwise, how can you become old? In the end, five elders must have sufficient strength, and must be the top of the world government. Only those who meet the above 3 points are eligible to become five elders. But now, because of Ye Chen, Yim actually ignores these 3 rules and directly promotes Ye Chen to become five elders. At Ye Chen's age, if he really becomes one of five elders, wouldn't it be necessary to lower the average age of five elders as a whole? Is this another conspiracy of the world government? Ye Chen, don't promise this old guy. Ace Daisy snorted coldly. Yeah, Ye Chen, once you become five elders, you are afraid that there will be a lot of inconvenience, even involuntary. Ace, who was working hard, couldn't help but speak. He actually doesn't know much about the position of five elders. But he knew very well that his grandfather, Garp Iron Fist, was a lieutenant general marine, and he was involuntary in many cases. For example, during the previous war on the top. Of course, Ace didn't complain that Garp didn't rescue him in the top war. He could pretend to be ill and didn't attack the Whitebeard pirates, which is probably the maximum he could do. If he still maintains the Whitebeard pirate group, he is now afraid that he has been expelled from Marine by the world government to find a reason. This is what Ace didn't want to see. Captain, don't promise him. Join the world government and become one of the five elders. How can you be free to be a pirate? You say yes, Doflamingo. Han Galio couldn't help but speak. Indeed. Whether it is 7 warlords of the sea or 5 elders, it is actually the same. Once you join the world government, you will be involuntary. As a former member of 7 Warlords of the Sea, Doflamingo couldn't help but speak. However, to be honest, 5 Elders is much more noble than 7 Warlords of the Sea, and even controls the supreme power. After hesitating, Doflamingo continued to say this. What the supreme right is not for I'm. In I'm's eyes, 5 Elders is nothing. So, Ye Chen, I think it's better not to join 5 Elders. This is unclearly a feast. Ace Daisy coldly snorted again. When Chi Yi heard this, his old face also changed. He has to admit that what Acid said is reasonable. Zhao Zhao, what if they have higher rights? What is it in front of I'm? But no matter what, he had to persuade Ye Chen to join 5 Elders. Ye Chen, how about it? Think about it. Becoming 5 Elders is not a bad thing for you, at least, you will have supreme rights. Even celestial dragons, if you see you, you have to be polite to you. Quote. Chi Yi tries to persuade Ye Chen. Even if he knew it, based on the current situation, the possibility of persuading Ye Chen to join 5 Elders is very slim. But can't he let Ye Chen open the conditions? No matter what the conditions are. This is the right granted to him by Lord Yim himself. This still needs to be considered. Of course I don't want to. What is good about becoming 5 Elders? What supreme rights are not all given by the world government? They said that the withdrawal is not a matter of minutes. Galio spoke. Chapter 262. Partner News. As pirates, we do not also have supreme rights in our own territory. The key is to act regardless of someone's color. Galio continued. He made a decision for Ye Chen without authorization. Yes, what's so good about being 5 Elders? Where is the freedom to be a pirate? Even Luo couldn't help but speak. You heard it too. Good to go, don't send it. Of course, I don't mind if you want me to send you a ride. Acid said, putting his left hand on the saber around his waist. When Chi heard this, he also sighed. He knew that things would not succeed so easily. Do not. After listening to Chi Yi's words, Ye Chen, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly spoke. Go back and tell Eames that I am willing to become 5 Elders. When Chi Yi heard this, he couldn't believe it. Really? He himself felt that Ye Chen could not agree to become 5 Elders. After all, it can be heard from the words of several of his companions that their days as pirates have been quite comfortable and moist. Also, now that the Black Crow pirate group has such a large territory, Ye Chen can completely be his emperor in his territory. There is no need to succumb to the world government and become a so-called 5 Elders that has supreme rights. After all, these so-called supreme rights are all false. Yim can take it back in a word. Ye Chen certainly does not know this. But he knew this, but he was still willing to agree to become 5 Elders. Don't talk about Ki's words, I can't believe it. Acids and others were also very surprised when they heard the words. Did they hear it right? Ye Chen, their captain, who has been working against the world government and never succumbed to others, promised to become 5 Elders so quickly. For a while, Acids and others were filled with doubts. They don't understand why Ye Chen did this. Of course, if Ye Chen said that he made such a decision, it was because of fun. I don't know how they would feel. It is estimated that each one will show the expression of sanguine collapse. Indeed, Ye Chen made such a decision because of fun. After all, boring days have passed for too long, making people moldy, and we really need to find something interesting to do. Of course, fun is just one thing. Ye Chen's more important purpose is to meet the Yim who has never met before and is deeply hidden. When Ye Chen traveled to this world, the identity of Yim had not been revealed in the pirate comics. Therefore, Ye Chen didn't understand Yim, this mysterious man, at all. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. However, if he agrees to join 5 Elders and become the new 5 Elders, does that mean that he has the opportunity to approach the mysterious Yim? Even, it is possible, to get a glimpse of Yim's true face of Mount Lu. After all, the new 5 Elders has taken office, and that person is Ye Chen. After all, Yim will personally receive it then. As for 5 Elders, it doesn't matter to Ye Chen that it is improper. Even if he intends to use the guise of becoming the new 5 Elders to enter the headquarters of the world government himself. This is the purpose of Ye Chen. For Ye Chen, it is impossible to avoid a war with the world government. That being the case, before the official start of the war, wouldn't it be better to learn more about the world government and learn more about I'm? Even this time, inviting him to be 5 Elders in the past was actually a trap, a feast for a grand feast. Ye Chen was not afraid. With his current strength, it may be a little difficult to fight the entire world government. After all, besides 5 Elders and Yim, the world government also holds another trump card in his hand. That's right, that is Uranus, the king of heaven. However, even if one has difficulty fighting the world government, Ye Chen wants to retreat from the world government. Isn't that easy? If you are in a hurry, you will perform the last trick. Bankai Ryūjin Jakka, let the whole world turn into a sea of flames. Of course this is true. Go back and tell Yim, let him pick a good time, and welcome me to become the new 5 Elders. Ye Chen spoke again. Okay. Ye Chen gave affirmative answers. For a while, Chi Yi didn't know what to say. He didn't expect things to go so smoothly. Please, he didn't even offer the terms, alright. He originally planned to exchange Ye Chen's participation on the condition of the Ants pirate group's territory. But now it seems that it is completely unnecessary. What? You said that the ant is still alive, and the ant pirates are not affiliated with the world government. What right does he have to give the ant pirates as a condition to Ye Chen? Sorry. Now the anti-pirates group is greatly reduced in strength, not as good as before, and is already the weakest among the 4 emperors. In this world of the weak and the strong, it is not a matter of a word that they want to force the ant to give up the territory. Unless, the ant is determined to work against the world government. However, forgive her now, she doesn't have the guts. Of course, these are digressions. After receiving Ye Chen's reply, 5 elders Kai did not continue to stay on the Hades, but directly displayed advanced air steps, walked through the air, and disappeared into the vast sea. Ye Chen. Until Kai disappeared without a trace, Acedes couldn't help but speak. Don't worry, since I dare to agree to this matter, I am not afraid that they will make a ghost. Even if Acedes doesn't have to finish speaking, Ye Chen knows what she wants to say. In this regard, Ye Chen is very confident. With his current strength, would he still need to worry about the world government using this to trick him? When everyone heard the words, those who had originally planned to speak, all hesitated to speak. They thought about it again, too, who is their captain, and with his strength, would he be afraid of the world government making ghosts? World government, it is best to sincerely invite their captain to be the new 5 elders, otherwise, I am afraid that there will be a big trouble. This matter has come to an end. After Chi went back to the world government, there was no news. Even using the phone worm did not give Ye Chen an answer. I don't know what the hell is doing. But Ye Chen is not in a hurry at all. No matter whether Yim and the others are playing mystery or real, whether it is to pick a good day for him to take office, Ye Chen doesn't care at all. Ye Chen now has more things to do. Yes, that is to go to the new check-in location. Moreover, the sign in place this time is very special, it turned out to be. Chapter 263. The sign in location this time is very special, it turned out to be 10,000 meters deep in the sea. Yes, that's right, the sign in place this time is the Fishman Island. What, Lord Ye Chen, are you planning to go to the Fishman Island? After Doflamingo heard the news, he couldn't help being the first to speak. Lord Ye Chen finally listened to my opinion and wanted to take action against Princess White Star. Thinking of this, Doflamingo is still a little proud. Not long ago, he suggested to Ye Chen that since the world government has mastered the most powerful Uranus among the 3 ancient weapons. So, in order to facilitate the future confrontation with the world government, they should collect the other 2 ancient weapons. Pluto has already fallen into their hands, so now, they only need to go to the Fishman Island and find the White Star Princess who is said to be the next heir to the Sea King. As long as the White Star Princess is taken, then the Black Crow Pirates will control 2 of the 3 ancient weapons. At that time, even if it really does work with the world government that owns Uranus, it will not be shy in the slightest. The Fishman Island. Ulquiorra, you said, in the Fishman Island, are there many beautiful Murloc beauties? Han Galio couldn't help but speak. However, he cares more about the legendary beautiful Murloc. Unexpectedly, he was obviously a magical creature, and he would also be interested in Murloc beauties. Is it because the upper body of the Murloc is a fish, and the lower body is a human? Ahem, what needs to be explained here is that in the pirate world, Murlocs and Merfolk are different, they are 2 races. The difference between the 2 can be seen more intuitively from the literal meaning. For Murlocs, the word, fish, is at the front, so the upper body is a fish and the lower body is a human. One of the former Shichibukai members, Jinbei, is a Murloc. As for the mermaid, the word, person, is at the front, so the upper body is a human and the lower body is a fish. In other words, Princess White Star is a mermaid princess, not a mermaid princess. Don't ask me, I don't know. Maybe. Yes. Compared to Galio caring whether there is a mermaid beauty, Ulquiorra is a little mermaid beauty. Ahem, I have to say, no matter how cold, Ulquiorra is still a man after all. It is only natural to have a little reverie about the legendary mysterious mermaid beauty. Are you going to the Fishman Island? I'm familiar with this. Hearing this, Ace also spoke with great interest. The Fishman Island, after all, belongs to the territory of the Whitebeard pirates and is under the protection of the Whitebeard pirates. When Whitebeard was still alive, Ace had followed him to the Fishman Island several times. Therefore, he said that he is very familiar with the Fishman Island, which is not fake. Fighting with me, are you still distracted? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The cold voice of number 18 sounded. Sonic Fist. What? Boom. Accompanied by Ace's scream, he turned into a fireman and fell down from the air fiercely. The person who shot him is naturally the cold and ruthless No. 18. It may be because I have experienced the strength of the 18th. During Ace's life on the Hades, besides having to look for Ye Chen for half an hour every day as a sparring partner, at other times, more often he asked for the 18th as a sparring partner. With Ye Chen's acquiescence, the 18th naturally did not refuse Ace's request. Of course, almost every time Ace was beaten by the 18th to the end. If you are an ordinary person, you probably won't be able to stand it a long time ago. After all, No 18's hands, apart from not taking his life, will never show mercy. But the toughness of the character of this guy Ace and the tenacity of the flesh are beyond everyone's imagination. He actually carried it abruptly. Ye Chen saw it in his eyes and had to sigh with emotion secretly. Ace deserves to be the biological son of the former pirate king Roger. This will and this flesh are far beyond what ordinary people can compare. I'm afraid it is Zoro from the Straw Hat Pirates. Stop. On the 18th, I surrender. I will stop here today. The so-called heroes don't suffer from immediate losses. After Ace fell from a high altitude, he quickly dissipated the flames on his body and stopped the fight. It's really boring. The scum with only 5 combat power. Hearing the words on the 18th, he naturally stopped, but he did not forget a relentless cynicism. Hee. Hearing what he could say, Ace could only laugh awkwardly to ease the embarrassment. He also didn't know how the 18th would say such a thing. 0 fine flowers 0. The scum with only 5 combat effectiveness. Ye Chen was happy when he heard the words. It's worthy to be the 18th who came from Dragon Ball world, and the tone of his speech was exactly the same as someone in the Dragon Ball world. If Ace is just a scum with a combat power of only 5, isn't there a lot of people in this world who are not as good as ants? However, if this is said from the 18th mouth, Ye Chen actually thinks it is a bit reasonable. Who makes the 18th so powerful? Fighting alone with Ace, she doesn't even need to use the shock wave, she can sling Ace with her physical strength alone. Since you know the route to the Fishman Island, you will be responsible for the entire voyage, Ace. Ye Chen said to Ace. Okay. Ace is also very happy to be able to come in handy. With Ace pilot, Ye Chen naturally has nothing to worry about when going to the Fishman Island this time. All you need to do is to lie down on a beach chair and wait for the Hades to arrive at the Fishman Island. However, when the Pluto was about to go to the Fishman Island, a phone rang. Hey, is it Ye Chen? It's me, 5 Elders Key. The person who called turned out to be one of 5 Elders, Kai. About half a month has passed, he finally has an answer. Oh, you have finally chosen a good day and auspicious day, are you planning to let me take office? It is really difficult to choose a good day and auspicious day. In this regard, Ye Chen naturally inevitably made a cynicism. Chi heard this, but he did not explain too much, but said to Ye Chen straightforwardly, November 15th, that is, 3 days later, you can go to the world government headquarters. I'm here to take office. We have already taken care of everything else for you. You only need someone to arrive. Ahem, of course, there are some things, I hope you pay attention. After all, Mary Geoise is the holy land of celestial dragons, except for the slaves and servants of celestial dragons, no one is allowed to enter. Therefore, we hope that you will come to the post by yourself at that time. It is best not to bring extra companions. Otherwise, it may cause collective dissatisfaction with celestial dragons. Chi briefly explained the things that need attention. Force. Chapter 264. Naturally, Ye Chen didn't say anything about this. After all, it doesn't matter whether he brings his companions or not. Anyway, he is not someone who needs his companions to protect him. Just 3 days later, Ye Chen's voice hesitated. Why, can't it be done in 3 days? Upon hearing this, Chi suddenly became nervous. He was afraid of Ye Chen and turned back temporarily. If Ye Chen turned back at this time, he might not look good in front of Lord Yim. It's not bad. That's all, you can send me the specific address and time first. Then I will see the situation. Ye Chen said lazily. Although it is fine to go to the Fishman Island, 3 days to go back and forth is definitely enough. But what if something is delayed? Those 3 days are definitely not enough. But it doesn't matter, it's a big deal, take 1, 2, 7, or 2 days before taking office. Anyway, he actually didn't care much about the identity of 5 elders. Alright. Hearing that Ye Chen didn't want to turn back, Chi couldn't help but heaved a sigh of relief. He had never thought that the person with the highest level of his own dignified 5 elders would actually be frightened because of this little incident. But there is no way, after all, this is something that Lord Yim explained. After hanging up Chi-Yi's phone, Ye Chen ordered to move at full speed toward the Fishman Island. Because the Pluto has already been coated, they don't have to go to the Chambord Islands for coating. They can go directly to the Fishman Island from the nearest route. Of course, there is no need for Ye Chen to worry about this. With Ace, a tour guide who has been to the Fishman Island several times, there is still no problem at all. So, very smoothly, a group of people on the Pluto came to the Fishman Island. Of course, it is inevitable that Sea Kings will be attacked on the way to the bottom of the sea, but for the crew on board, Sea Kings is nothing. Come 1 to kill 1, and 100 to kill 100. Ye Chen doesn't even need to do it himself, just leave it to a seeds. After all, this little thing can't be guilty of Ye Chen's hands. 1 day later, the figure of Pluto appeared in the deepest part of the seabed. Look, there is the Fishman Island. Ace yelled suddenly. Everyone looked in the direction pointed by Ace, looking through the coral reefs, and found a huge island surrounded by super huge bubbles. There is no doubt that there is the Fishman Island. Wow, is that the Fishman Island? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's almost the same as the underwater world in the fairy tale. Are those huge buildings transformed from coral reefs? What a big bubble! The crew of the Pluto Messenger exclaimed one after another. Even Galio, Ulquiorra, Acedes, and number 18 were surprised to see the Fishman Island at a depth of 10,000 meters. They do come from another world, but they have never seen the Fishman Island either. On the contrary, it is Doflamingo, Luo and others. Perhaps they have heard too much about the Fishman Island, or they used to be the Fishman Island, so they are not too surprised by this. Soon, the Hades arrived at the port of the Fishman Island. Everyone got off the boat, and before they took 2 steps forward, they suddenly heard a rant. Who dare to approach the Fishman Island? Who are you? What do you mean by coming to the Fishman Island? Is there an order for the Fishman Island? The mermaid soldiers guarding the port surrounded Ye Chen and his group, and the harpoons in their hands were aimed at everyone. Facing the interrogation of the Murloc soldiers, Ace stepped forward. Dear mermaid soldiers, long time no see, don't come here unharmed. Ace was very cheerful and greeted several mermaid soldiers. It's Captain Ace. And those mermaid soldiers, obviously also knew Ace. Seeing that the person was Ace, they immediately put down their guard and put down their harpoons one after another. Yes, it's me, Ace. Since you are Captain Ace, it doesn't matter if you don't have a pass, let it go. With that, the mermaid soldier captain waved his hand, and the mermaid soldier behind him consciously stepped aside. However, things are not that simple. At this moment, a majestic voice suddenly sounded. It is natural to let Captain Ace pass through. This is our agreement with the Whitebeard pirates. However, other people, you can't let them pass through. Let's talk, Captain Ace, who are they? I don't think they are like members of the Whitebeard pirates. So I don't want this prince to be rude and can't let them into the Fishman Island easily. After the man's voice sounded, the Murloc soldiers were startled. 0. It's Prince Shark. See Prince Shark. The mermaid soldiers knelt down one after another. At the same time, a blue-haired mermaid man walked out from behind. His upper body is human, and his lower body is indeed a shark. That's right, the visitor is the prince of the Fishman Island Dragon Palace Kingdom, the boss of the 3 Neptune brothers, and the next king of the Fishman Island, Prince Shark. In addition to Shark, 2 mermaids followed behind him. One is the Emperor Mermaid, and the other is the Moon Mermaid. Yes, they are the second prince and the third prince of Dragon Palace. The 3 Neptune brothers are all here. See the second prince. See the third prince. The mermaid soldiers saluted one after another. It turned out to be the 3 princes, long time no see. Ace is obviously very familiar with the 3 princes, and it is natural to greet them. Ace, who are they? Big brother is right. Their identities are unknown. Even if you bring them, you can't easily put them into the Fishman Island. The second prince and Ace are most familiar with each other. He came to Ace and said. Ace was about to introduce Ye Chen and others, but he was interrupted by Prince Shark before he spoke. Don't ask. They are from the Black Duck Pirates. Prince Shark said with certainty. His gaze was looking at the huge Pluto, with the pirate flag hanging on the mast. On that banner, there was a skull, and on the skull, stood a dark night crow with open wings. Isn't this the symbol of the Black Crow Pirates? As the Prince of Dragon Palace, he has never been to the world above, but he has heard of the famous Black Crow Pirates. Not only did he hear it, but he also yearned for it. What kind of pirate group is this able to rise from a 2-person pirate group to the largest and strongest pirate group in the world in less than half a year? What? They are from the Black Crow Pirates. Not only the group of mermaid soldiers, but also the second prince and the third prince of the Sunstar were shocked when they heard this. Chapter 265. They must have never seen the Black Crow Pirates group, but they haven't seen such a famous pirate group, have they not heard of it yet? Especially, the Fishman Island has been circulating recently that the Whitebeard Pirates has been annexed by the Black Crow Pirates. It is even more panic. Yes, after all, the Fishman Island was covered by the Whitebeard Pirates. If the Whitebeard Pirates were to fall or even be annexed, wouldn't they, the Fishman Island, be caught in the turmoil of the past? You must be the captain of the Black Crow Pirates, Ye Chen. Prince Shark still has some eyesight, and he can see Ye Chen in the crowd at a glance. In fact, that's a matter of course. After all, Ye Chen's temperament is very different from those of Doflamingo, Luo and others who surround him. Doflamingo did have an arrogant face, stepping in a horoscope, and leaning back all the way, pulling people to have an urge to flatten him. But even if he has the temperament of an emperor, how can he compare with Ye Chen? Yes, Ye Chen did not deny, but readily admitted his identity. Oh my god, he is really the Emperor Ye Chen. The third prince who was in charge of the funny car Sunburst, heard the sound and couldn't help but yelled. As for the title of Emperor Underworld, in 09, it was only recently spread. It seems that the world government's unfavorable blockade has led to the exposure of the terrorist 3-masted sailing vessel. In addition, the fact that Beast's pirates joined the Black Crow Pirates and became one of the pirates under the Black Crow Pirates was confirmed. Make people more convinced that those rumors about the terrorist 3-masted sailing ship are true. As a result, the title of Emperor of the Underworld, Ye Chen gradually spread. As for why Ye Chen was given the title of Underworld Emperor, it is estimated that when Ye Chen got serious, actually he was the ultimate god of the night who showed the 8 inner gates, his body was always covered by a dark red steam. Right. That terrifying look, doesn't it look like an emperor from the underworld? In that case, she is Acedes, the Queen of Ice. He is the great demon king Ulquiorra. Why are there no demon wings behind him? I know this, he is Han Han Galio. The second prince of Emperor Star and the third prince of Roller Star had a heated discussion. You guys. Hearing this, Gario felt extremely depressed. Why are other people's nicknames so nice? Ye Chen, the Queen of Ice, Acedes, the Big Devil Ulquiorra, become Han Han Galio on him. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Damn it, I'm not convinced. Since you already know who we are, do you want to stop us from entering the Fishman Island? Ye Chen spoke again. His tone was so plain, but the wise Prince Shark had a chill in his back when he heard the words. This sounds so ordinary, but as long as a smart person can hear it, Ye Chen is a threat to Kai Guago. That means, we want to enter the Fishman Island, no one can stop us, otherwise, cough cough. The entire Fishman Island may be destroyed by this block. How come? It's our honor for Master Ye Chen to visit the Fishman Island in person. We are too late to welcome us, so how can we block it? Please allow this prince to personally lead the way for Master Ye Chen. Shark seems to have changed individuals, and his tone is full of humility. Of course, when he said this, he still reminded his second and third brothers with his eyes. The two princes understood. When Shark personally led Ye Chen and his party, they quietly left the team, went to Dragon Palace City, and reported the matter to King Neptune. Dragon Palace. The palace. What? Ye Chen from the Black Crow Pirates, has come to the Fishman Island. What did he come to the Fishman Island for? He didn't want to embezzle us on the Fishman Island. The aloft King Neptune heard this, his face changed drastically. This is very likely. The Black Crow Pirates have annexed the Whitebeard Pirates. The next target is naturally the Fishman Island. Left Minister Catfish Mermaid said. What can we do? With the mermaid army of the Fishman Island, can we have a chance to defeat the Black Crow Pirates? Neptune asked in a panic. This. Mr. Wrong has something to say, we don't even have a chance. Minister Zuo hesitated. He was right. The Fishman Island also needs the protection of the Whitebeard Pirates, and the Black Crow Pirates have the ability to annex the Whitebeard Pirates, and the Fishman Island is fighting against the Black Crow Pirates. Isn't that over? Neptune was even more panicked when he heard the words. The king, don't panic. The old minister felt that with the current powerful forces of the Black Crow Pirates, they might not have the Fishman Island in our eyes. At this time, the right minister Seahorse Mermaid spoke. Chancellor Wright, do you have a good way? Say it quickly. Neptune said quickly. It's not necessarily a good way, but the old minister suggested that a big banquet should be held and Ye Chen and his party should be received as VIPs of the highest standard. As long as we treat each other with courtesy, as long as Ye Chen is not an unreasonable and vicious pirate, he has no reason to act against us. Minister Wright suggested. This proposal is good. The great Prince Shark thinks so too. Therefore, he will personally receive Ye Chen and his party, and then let the second and third princes come back and report the matter. Minister Zuo echoed the road. That's all. The order is passed on, and the banquet will be set up to entertain the distinguished guests with the highest standards. Neptune heard this, and felt that it could only be so. Immediately, the order was passed on and the servants immediately prepared the banquet. King, the minister is still a little worried. If Ye Chen came to the Fishman Island this time, not for the Fishman Island, but for Princess White Star, then. The left minister Seahorse Mermaid hesitated and spoke again. He dare. When Neptune heard this, he was furious. Princess White Star is his heart, he would rather not want the entire the Fishman Island than Princess White Star fall into the hands of evil men. It should be impossible. Minister Zuo, you mean, Ye Chen, they know the secret of Princess White Star. Their purpose this time is to come to Princess White Star. The right minister Seahorse Mermaid is obviously a little bit incredulous. Also, apart from the three present, even Princess White Star herself didn't know her secret identity. The two princes were also confused when they heard this. It's impossible for them to take away this king's White Star princess. Come here, gather all the mermaid army, and prepare to fight the Black Crow Pirates to the death. For the White Star Princess, King Neptune really intends to fight the Black Crow Pirates. Chapter 266. Wait, the right minister Seahorse Mermaid heard this and quickly stopped. King, before clarifying the purpose of their coming to the Fishman Island, the old minister suggested that we should still stand still. If they are really bad, it will not be too late for us to fight. Yes, Minister Wright is right. Once there is a conflict with the Black Crow Pirates, the entire the Fishman Island may not be protected. Please also the king for the sake of the people of the Fishman Island, and don't act recklessly. The left minister Catfish Mermaid also spoke quickly. After two people persuaded, Neptune calmed down. He thought for a while and felt that what they both said made sense. Now that everything is unclear, there is no need to offend Ye Chen directly. That's the only way to do it. Set up a banquet first, entertain them well, and discuss everything else for a long time. King Neptune said helplessly. The other side. Ye Chen and his party visited the Fishman Island under the personal leadership of Prince Shark. The places passed along the way naturally attracted the attention of residents and tourists on countless islands. People are curious about what their origins are, and they even bother the Prince Shark from Dragon Palace to personally lead a tour of the Fishman Island. Presumably, the background must not be small. Prince Shark, is this the busiest street in the Fishman Island? It's really bustling. Arriving at the most prosperous commercial street of the Fishman Island, Perona, the lowly, immediately beamed. She hasn't been shopping for a long time, buying Lolita clothes and delicious pastries. Speaking of which, the Lolita clothes on her are all old, it's time to get new ones. Hee hee, Miss Perona, here are the best pastries in the world. Even Charlotte Linlin, the aunt of the 4 emperors, is drooling over our cakes on the Fishman Island. Prince Shark clearly saw through Perona's careful thoughts. Really, great backquote. Perona was even more excited when she heard this. At this time everyone knew that our Princess Mononoke was a good snack. Do you go shopping? I am most interested. In other words, I don't know what the trendy clothes in this world are like. Number 18 opened the door. She still has a cold face, but because she is longing for trends, she is also very interested in shopping. Aceeds is no exception. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shopping, as long as it is a girl, who doesn't love it? That, Lord Ye Chen, are we going to go in for a stroll? Prince Shark asked. Then take a stroll. Ye Chen looked at Perona, number 18 and Aceeds who looked at him with extremely expectant eyes. How could he bear to let the 3 women down? Therefore, he naturally agreed. In this way, accompanied by Prince Shark, a group of people strolled for a long time on the most prosperous commercial street of the Fishman Island. It just so happened that I also took this opportunity to buy all the items that need to be bought, food, water and other supplies that need to be supplemented. Since the items on the Fishman Island are indeed much better in quality than other places, everyone bought a lot of things, and Barry has several hundred million worth of items. The most outrageous thing is that these things, they don't need Ye Chen to pay a penny, they are all recorded in the account of the Shark Prince. Prince Shark can be said to have suffered a blood loss. Although he is a prince and is not short of money, his money was not brought by the wind. A few hundred million Barry has almost emptied his small private treasury. The pastry shop in front is the most famous pastry shop in the Fishman Island. No, it is famous all over the world. Shark Prince pointed to a luxuriously decorated pastry shop in the distance, and said. Although it took hundreds of millions of Barry, his heart was bleeding, but there is no way, in order to entertain Ye Chen and his party, a few hundred million Barry is nothing. Is it finally here? Pastry, here I am. Perona heard the words, her eyes gleaming. Master Ye Chen, do you think this Prince Shark seems to be wasting our time on purpose? At this moment, Doflamingo couldn't help but speak. He had long suspected that this shark was deliberately delaying time. I know. How could Ye Chen fail to see that shark was deliberately delaying time? However, as long as the 3 Aceeds and the others are happy, Ye Chen doesn't care. Isn't it just wasting a little time to go shopping with them? What Ye Chen cares about is what the reward for signing in this time will be. However, because the specific location of the sign-in was Dragon Palace City on the Fishman Island, I haven't been to Dragon Palace City yet, so naturally, rewards or something have not been issued yet. Oh, Doflamingo hesitated to speak but stopped. Backquote why, do you think he was deliberately delaying time so that Neptune had time to gather the mermaid army to deal with us? Don't worry, they dare not. Ye Chen naturally knew what Doflamingo was thinking. Ye Chen said so, and Doflamingo naturally has nothing to say. However, soon, Doflamingo knew that Ye Chen's words were indeed correct. Because soon some mermaid soldiers hurriedly found the Prince Shark, and asked him to lead Ye Chen and his party to Dragon Palace. King Neptune is ready to entertain them with a good banquet. Hearing the words of the mermaid soldiers, Doflamingo admired Ye Chen in his heart. Sure enough, Lord Ye Chen is Lord Ye Chen, you can't guess anything wrong. Master Ye Chen, please come with me. In this way, at the invitation of Prince Shark, the group came to the palace of Dragon Palace. Because there is enough time for half a day to prepare, with money, the specifications of the banquet are very high level. There are all kinds of delicacies and delicacies. Even some rare and delicious sea king's meat has it. Regardless of the fact that the residents of the Fishman Island are either mermaids or murlocs, for them, sea kings are equivalent to livestock in the human world. Humans will not treat animals like pigs and dogs as their kind, and mermaid and murlocs will naturally not treat sea kings as their kind. At most, they are considered terrible monsters. Even murlocs and merfolk who are good at swimming, it is not easy to hunt sea kings. Therefore, taking out the meat of sea kings to entertain Ye Chen and his party is the highest standard. On weekdays, only the world's most expensive celestial dragons or the king of a certain country come to the Fishman Island to play, and the king of Neptune will entertain them with such specifications. Chapter 267. Unfortunately, what they didn't know was that the meat of sea kings was not attractive to the members of the Black Duck Pirates. Of course, for other pirate groups, it can be said that sea kings are nightmares. When they come to the Black Crow Pirate group, they will almost be destroyed when they encounter it. A member of the Black Crow Pirates, it can be said that Tenten eats the meat of sea kings, and they have eaten the meat of sea kings, no matter how advanced or delicious. So, of course not interested in the so-called precious sea king's meat. Master Ye Chen, you are here, welcome. Ye Chen and his party, under the leadership of Prince Shark, had just arrived at the palace, and immediately received a warm welcome from King Neptune. However, Ye Chen ignored him. Of course, it was not that Ye Chen deliberately ignored him, but it happened that at this moment, Ye Chen thought of the system's prompt sound. Congratulations to host, you successfully complete the sign-in and get a reward. King's treasure, King's treasure. What? The treasure of the king? After hearing the system prompt, Ye Chen was stunned. No, does this king's treasure refer to the treasures owned by Gilgamesh in the Fate series? Although Ye Chen didn't know much about the king's treasure, he still knew that it was the key sword of the golden system. You can combine the space and take out the treasures in the treasury freely. It can be said that the more treasures the user has, the more powerful it is. In Fate, Gilgamesh has collected the true forms of all the treasures in the world into the treasury. In other words, Ye Chen now owns Gilgamesh's king's treasure. Does it mean that he has all the treasures in Fate? If this is the case, the rewards of the system this time are really impressive. All the treasures in Fate are no joke. For example, the Lock of the Sky, such as the Peerless Sword, the indestructible Extreme Sage Durandal, and the Sword of Hegni. What else are Indra's Thunder, Fang Tian's painting of a halberd, armed with magic, etc. It can be said that only you can't think of it. There is no treasure in the king's treasure that is not collected, referring to the Fate. Owning the treasure of the king can be said to have all the treasures in Fate. Thinking about it this way, it's no wonder that Ye Chen was stunned after hearing the system's prompt tone. This time the reward is simply not too strong. The system, the so-called king's treasure, refers to the king's treasure owned by Gilgamesh. Ye Chen asked the question in his mind. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, host. However, not all the treasures in the treasure of the king can be used directly. You need to complete the specified tasks before you can open the use of some treasures. The system naturally knew what Ye Chen was thinking, and directly answered his questions. Do you have to complete tasks before you can use some advanced treasures? Ye Chen heard this and felt that the restrictions added by the system were a bit too much. However, in other words, the king's treasure really contains all the treasures in Fate, but there are some advanced treasures that need to be completed before they can be used. Even so, it's better than the king's treasure. There are only a few treasures. After all, the treasure of the king's treasure is the stronger the treasure, the more treasures are stored in it. As for which treasures can be used and which cannot be used, the host can summon the king's treasure by itself and check it out. The sound of the system sounded again. At the same time, the system is also very considerate to summon the treasure of the king for Ye Chen. Suddenly, a virtual god's door appeared in front of Ye Chen. Ye Chen can open the door of the gods and enter the space of the king's treasure by using the king's law key, which is the sword of the key in his hand. After checking in his mind, Ye Chen found that there are not many treasures he can use now, and they are all relatively low-level treasures. For example, Fang Tian painted a halberd, such as invisibility cloth, etc. As for those advanced treasures, such as true shooting 100 heads, sky lock, shield of the gods, etc., they are temporarily unavailable. In addition, Ye Chen discovered that the treasures that were temporarily unavailable did not list the tasks to be done before they could be unlocked. From this, Ye Chen inevitably had doubts in his mind. System, why don't these unusable treasures list the tasks to be used to unlock them? Ye Chen asked. The task of unlocking treasures is not fixed. It will be randomly triggered by events that the host will encounter in the future. The system answered Ye Chen's question. Oh, that's how it is. Ye Chen nodded. This is actually quite good. At least, Ye Chen doesn't need to go to a remote place to complete the task in order to unlock the right to use a certain treasure. But there is also a downside, that is, because the unlock task is triggered randomly, some Ye Chen wants to try some of the treasures, such as the Lock of the Sky, the Peerless Sword, the indestructible Extreme Sage Durandal. Wait, the task of unlocking them may not be triggered. Then wouldn't he just stare at the treasure in the king's treasure, but he couldn't use it? Withdrawing the chaotic thoughts, Ye Chen gradually came back to his senses. However, at this time, because Ye Chen did not pay attention to Neptune for the first time, there has been a lot of riots in the palace. He is the captain of the Black Crow Pirates, the so-called underworld emperor Ye Chen. What an arrogant guy, even our dignified King Neptune doesn't even look at it. What does he mean? Do you look down on our King Neptune? Even if Whitebeard visits the Fishman Island in person, he dare not ignore our King Neptune so much. Inside the palace, hundreds of civil and military officials whispered their dissatisfaction. In order to express the immense respect for Ye Chen and his group, Neptune gathered the civil and military officials and nobles of the Fishman Island Kingdom for this banquet, and even included some distinguished tourists who came to the Fishman Island to play. Hee. Neptune waited and waited, but never received Ye Chen's response, which was extremely embarrassing. Is this the one who annexed the Whitebeard pirates? Sure enough, it's so big that I don't even care about me as a magnificent king. Neptune was a little angry, but more helpless. There is no way, in this world where the weak and the strong eat the strong, you have to swallow your voice if you are not strong enough. It's so realistic. Unless, he wants to be the king of subjugation. Of course Neptune didn't want to. Chapter 268. Neptune certainly didn't want to be the king of subjugation. He may not be a great king, but he is also a good king who cares about the people. It doesn't matter if he himself died, but if he hurts his children and so many people and accompanies him in the funeral, he would never want to see it. Therefore, No matter how arrogant and rude Ye Chen is towards him, as a dignified king, he can only bear it. That, Master Ye Chen, if there is any lack of hospitality, please forgive me. Why not? Let's start the banquet now, how about? If we don't start again, the food will be cold. Neptune said The civil and military officials and the nobles in the palace were surprised when they saw this. Is this the most prestigious king in their daily lives? Unexpectedly, he sighed like this in a low voice. Damn pirate. Then let's start. At this time, Ye Chen had recovered, and he also realized that he was a bit rude to Neptune. After all, everyone is the king of the Fishman Island Dragon Palace Kingdom. But it doesn't matter. In the world of pirates, the king of a small country is not as powerful as a more powerful pirate group. Therefore, after a simple response, Ye Chen motioned to Neptune to lead the way. Upon seeing this, the civil and military officials and the nobles in the Dragon Palace became even more dissatisfied with Ye Chen's arrogance. But what about their dissatisfaction? They dare not say anything. The aura on Ye Chen was nothing. On the contrary, they couldn't feel any aura and couldn't judge whether Ye Chen was strong or weak. However, the few people standing behind him, the Ice Queen Acedes, the Great Demon King Ulquiorra, the Han Han Galio, and even Doflamingo, the terrifying aura exuding from them almost suppressed their breath. They believe for no reason that these people have enough ability to destroy the entire the Fishman Island. In addition, many strong people in the crowd, most of them are tourists from the land, but also found another thing. That is, the scent of a fashionable blonde woman who is next to Ye Chen's body is also unremarkable. But it is this kind of if there is nothing that makes them realize that this blonde beauty is definitely more terrifying than the Ice Queen Acedes and others. Isn't it? In addition to the Ice Queen, Ulquiorra, Galio and others, the Black Crow Pirates has new members. Moreover, this blonde beauty seems to be stronger than the others. People were shocked when they thought of this. Since the Black Crow Pirates has annexed the Whitebeard Pirates and Beasts Pirates, it has been recognized as the most powerful pirates in the world, none of them. Now, the Black Crow Pirate Group has one more member who is stronger than the Sea Emperor. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Just thinking about it, they feel their scalp numb. As tourists, they were able to invite Neptune to join the banquet, which is enough to prove that they are not distinguished on land, are people of extraordinary strength. They still know a lot about Ye Chen and the Black Crow Pirates. Please sit down, please sit down. Bringing Ye Chen and his party to the banquet, Neptune still said flatly to Ye Chen. In this regard, Ye Chen is naturally not polite, and instead of waiting for the owner of Neptune to take a seat first, he just sat down on the main seat. As for Neptune, naturally he can only be wrong for taking the second place. This move immediately caused a lot of dissatisfaction. But Ye Chen didn't bother to care about other people's thoughts. He deserved it. When you have enough strength, even if the whole world worships you, that's not impossible. This world is so realistic. Play music, dance, have a banquet. Neptune may have dissatisfaction in his heart, but he dared not express it at all. After giving the order in a brief and concise manner, he also seated Ye Chen with Ye Chen. In this way, the banquet began. The banquet went very smoothly, and even, it can be said that everyone was happy. Although, the members of the Black Crow Pirates, what delicacies of mountains and seas have not been eaten? But the delicacies of the mountains and seas are all on land. As for the Fishman Island, which is 10,000 meters deep under the sea, some of the delicacies of the mountains and the sea, some delicious specialties, and the wine made with a certain special seaweed, they have never tried it. Therefore, everyone eats very cheerfully. Especially Perona, who has developed food-eating attributes, gobbled it up and ate heartily. 0 Find flowers 0. Even the 18th ate a lot of food. Although she is a man made by herself and has an infinite energy core, she will never starve or die of thirst without eating or drinking. But because she was transformed by humans and has taste buds, it is difficult to resist some delicious food. Seeing Ye Chen and his party, eating meat and drinking, eating so happily, King Neptune and his left and right ministers, who had been worried, couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief in secret. However, while the banquet was going on happily, in a deep sea gully not far from the Fishman Island, a group of people were just about to move on a huge pirate ship. 0. Captain Van der Daken. I heard that in the Dragon Palace of Dragon Palace, King Neptune is having a big banquet, it is very lively. A Murloc and pirate started speaking first. What? The old guy Neptune gave a big banquet and he didn't call my son-in-law. Damn it, it's unbearable. A Murloc with 4 legs, who looked like a bottlenose tiger shark, couldn't help but jump into a rage. This guy, with a funny mustache, is also polite on the top of his head. Yes, that's right, he is the current captain of the Flying Pirates, Van der Daken X. And the pirate group he was riding was also the famous pirate ship, Flying Dutchman, it should be from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's right, the captain is right. Neptune, an unknown old fellow, even if he drove us out of the Fishman Island, he didn't even invite us to the captain for a big banquet this time. It seems, I don't want to admit the fact that our captain is his future son-in-law. A Murloc and pirate clamored. It just so happens that this time we searched for several months in the huge gully outside the Fishman Island, and finally found the oldie boat of promise, Noah. If Neptune still doesn't recognize this time, no, I am willing to betroth Princess White Star to me Van der Daken Ix. Ha 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 ha, then Lousy will use Noah and ruin the entire the Fishman Island. Van der Daken Ix snorted coldly. Force. Chapter 269. Van der Daken Ix claimed to be under the target curse, but actually ate the target fruit, demon fruit power. As long as the objects he touched, they can be set as arrows and targets. To put it simply, the items he throws will automatically track the target to the ends of the world. He only needs to set the arrow of the boat of promise, Noah he has touched, and set the Fishman Island as the target, then Noah will unstoppably smash at the Fishman Island and direct the Fishman Island destroy. That is, Noah, the board of promise, is so huge, dozens of times bigger than our Flying Dutchman, half the size of the Fishman Island. Such a big Noah hit Fishman Island, the consequences can be imagined. If Neptune doesn't want the kingdom, he should obediently agree to this marriage. The Murloc and pirate said, again. Haha, our captain is really too strong. Captain Van der Daken is awesome. The other Murlocs and pirates started flattering. That is, who am I am your captain, Van der Daken Ix. Van der Daken Ix enjoyed the flattery of his Murlocs. But captain, I heard that this time Neptune hosted a banquet to entertain. Among the many Murloc pirates, suddenly one of the Murloc pirates said this weakly. To entertain who? Van der Daken was immediately unhappy when he heard this. Who to entertain is more important than his future son-in-law. It is said that it is Ye Chen and his party from the Black Crow Pirates. After whistling for a long time, the Murloc and pirate said, just now, he said. What? Van der Daken Ix, who was still comfortable and triumphant, suddenly felt like a discouraged ball when he heard this. Ye Chen's name is now famous all over the world, even in the depths of 10,000 meters under the sea, almost no one has never heard of it. Therefore, after hearing Ye Chen's name, King Van der Daken Ix was immediately stunned. It was not that he didn't want to go to a banquet and ask the old guy Neptune for an explanation. Rather, Ye Chen's strength is said to be a powerful horror. If he is more acquainted, it is better not to provoke him. Dark Emperor Ye Chen, Captain, I heard that this guy is terribly powerful. It is said that even Kaido was killed by him. It is better not to provoke him. A Murloc and pirate heard the words and said quickly. Van der Daken Ix glared at him. Nonsense, who doesn't know that Ye Chen is not easy to provoke? But Captain, should we just swallow our anger like this? This is not in line with our flying pirate group style. To swallow. How is this possible? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Van der Daken Ix was suddenly unhappy when he heard this. Ye Chen is really strong, and I have to deal with him alone. It is really difficult to deal with. However, if Van der Daken Ix rubbed the beard at the corner of his mouth and started howling. It is not difficult to hear from his words that he does not feel that he is not Ye Chen's opponent at all. Even, he felt that as long as he called another powerful companion, it was enough to deal with Ye Chen. Go, let's go to Hody Jones. Van der Daken Ix's opponents said. Dragon Palace City, inside the Dragon Palace. The banquet is nearing its end. King Neptune and his ministers on the left and right were relieved to see that the banquet went smoothly. The most important thing is that what they have been worried about has not happened. They thought that Ye Chen came to the Fishman Island, but actually came for the White Star Princess with a special identity. But from beginning to end, Ye Chen never said anything to Princess White Star. Didn't he find that Princess White Star was not there? They don't believe this in any way. Anyone who knows him a little bit about Neptune knows that he has a daughter named Princess White Star in Neptune. Ye Chen should have found out at the beginning, and the White Star Princess was not present. He kept silent about this. Could it be that they were wrong? His purpose in coming to the Fishman Island was not for the Princess White Star who was the incarnation of Sea King Poseidon. However, just when Neptune, the minister of the left and the minister of the right felt that they were making a mistake, Doflamingo couldn't help it. King Neptune, I heard that the beauty of the White Star Princess is so beautiful that even Hancock, the most beautiful pirate empress in the human world, sighs. Why, this banquet, it seems that she has not been seen. Doflamingo said deliberately. He thought that Ye Chen came from the White Star Princess who was the ancient weapon Sea King. Since Ye Chen is not easy to tear up Arankar's son to raise this matter, as a subordinate, he naturally wants to raise zero for Ye Chen. However, whether it is Neptune, the minister of the left, the minister of the right, or Doflamingo, they are all wrong. Ye Chen came to the Fishman Island purely for a mission, and has nothing to do with Princess White Star at all. Indeed, Ye Chen is interested in seeing the Princess White Star who is the ancient weapon Sea King and also known as the most beautiful woman in the pirate world, but if you can't see it, Ye Chen won't feel sorry. After all, even if the White Star Princess is truly beautiful and famous throughout the pirate world, her size is really too big, even bigger than the giants. Ye Chen is not a veteran critic. You can't force her to become a member of the Black Crow Pirates just because of the beauty of the White Star Princess. That takes up a lot of space. Although the Pluto is very big, it is more than enough to accommodate the White Star Princess who is bigger than the giants. But letting such a huge Princess White Star stay on the Pluto seems a bit out of place, doesn't it? In summary, even if Ye Chen is somewhat interested in Princess White Star and her abilities, he has no plans to recruit her as a member of the Black Crow Pirates. Ahem. Neptune heard the words and couldn't help coughing violently. The ministers on the left and the right also changed their faces when they heard this. Is the one that should come after all. The thing they worry about the most is here. I'm sorry, the little girl was ill, so she didn't attend this banquet. Neptune explained forcefully. Body ill, I don't think it's necessary, but someone doesn't want her to attend this banquet. Doflamingo snorted and said coldly. He was born with an extremely arrogant face, but speaking like this suddenly made the situation on the scene tense. Doflamingo, how do you say you? Bai Xing is a princess after all, and her body is delicate. If she is ill, she should naturally take a good rest. Ye Chen heard the words, but couldn't help but speak. Of course he knew that Doflamingo deliberately mentioned Princess White Star's purpose, but in the final analysis it was for his own good, but to be honest, his purpose of coming to the Fishman Island was really not for Princess White Star. Chapter 270. Quote. When Ye Chen spoke, King Neptune and his two ministers were stunned. Didn't he come rushing to Princess White Star? Why did Doflamingo help him bring it up, but he didn't seem to be happy? Could it be that they got it wrong? Impossible. Quote. Hearing this, Doflamingo was also stunned, and his face suddenly didn't look good. But he was still cunning, and immediately put away his face and changed his words. Sorry, King Neptune, it's me. Doflamingo is rude. Your Lord Ye Chen is right. Princess White Star is delicate, so she should take a good rest if she is in a hug. This, Doflamingo's sudden change actually stunned Neptune and the people attending the banquet, including humans, Murlocs, and merfolk. Especially the tourists from above, the Murlocs and mermaids of the Fishman Island, may not know the name of Tangtang Tianyasha Doflamingo. But the tourists from above, who do not know Doflamingo, they know very well that he is the young master of the Don Quixote family, one of the former 7 warlords of the sea, the overlord of the underground world. They might not have thought of killing them in '09. Tangtang Tianyasha Doflamingo would actually be so low-pitched to Ye Chen and obeyed. Is this the courage of Ye Chen? No. It doesn't matter. Come, let's drink and continue to drink. Happiness is the most important today. This is the reason why this king is hosting this feast. Neptune raised his glass quickly at the sign of the two ministers and said to Doflamingo. In this way, the embarrassment on the scene was naturally resolved. So in the second half of the banquet, the atmosphere was still very harmonious and pleasant. It's just that King Neptune and his two ministers didn't understand. Ye Chen traveled all the way to the Fishman Island. What is the purpose? Isn't it really for Princess White Star? The Fishman Island, Fishman Street. The Fishman Street is located at the extreme edge of the Fishman Island. The once prosperous Murloc Street is now shrouded in darkness. Pedestrians hurried on the street, and no one dared to stay in the street for a long time, as if they were afraid that if they were not careful, they would be killed. If you look closely, you will find that most of the people staying on Murloc Street are human pirates. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Even some pirates notorious in New World appear here. Murloc Street, was it occupied by human pirates? At this moment, a group of Murlocs in disguise appeared in the street of Murlocs, and they were completely indifferent to the vicious human pirates. Yes, that's right, the Murloc who took the lead was the captain of the flying pirates, Van der Decken X. Van der Decken X seemed to be very familiar with Murloc Street, and he went around, and soon came somewhere. Oh, Hody Jones, long time no see. The voice of Van der Decken X suddenly sounded. Oh, Van der Decken X, I didn't say yes, you were wanted by Neptune recently. Is it better not to come to the Fishman Island? Why did you get here? In the gloomy room, sunlight came in. At this time, people could see the appearance of the first few people in the room. One of them is a great white shark man with long white hair. He is the captain of the faithful Murloc pirate group, the deity of Hody Jones. He was somewhat surprised and dissatisfied with Van der Decken X, who risked being arrested by mermaid soldiers and ran to the Murloc Street of the Fishman Island. I can't help it either, Hody Jones, who made the old man Neptune unwilling to betroth Princess White Star to me. Van der Decken X launched a complaint. Oh, Hody Jones didn't say anything. However, he didn't think so in his heart. Just you, the joker who claims to be Van der Decken X, is also worthy of the White Star Princess. However, despite the contempt in my heart, the relationship between the two is an alliance. Hody Jones would naturally not say these things in his heart. Hody Jones, don't you know that there is a big banquet in the Dragon Palace of Dragon Palace City, right? Seeing Hody Jones did not speak, Van der Decken X continued. Of course I know this. Hody Jones was a little impatient. So, why did you come to Murloc Street? Now that you know, it should be very clear, who is the reason why this old fellow Neptune has such a grand banquet to entertain. Yes, to entertain Ye Chen. I suspect that the old Neptune guy attaches so much importance to Ye Chen, not because the Black Crow Pirates has annexed the Whitebeard Pirates, but because he wants to betroth Princess White Star to Ye Chen. Van der Decken X became more and more outrageous. However, he did think so in his heart. After all, he really couldn't find any reason to explain why Neptune had to entertain Ye Chen and his party so grandly. The specifications of this banquet surpassed the specifications for hosting kings of other countries. It turns out that you were worried. Neptune refused to betroth Princess White Star to you, but to Ye Chen. That's why you rushed to Murloc Street like this. Reckless. Hody Jones said, adding, reckless. He knew that Van der Dekenix was not so reliable. Let's not talk about whether Neptune will really betroth Princess White Star to Ye Chen. Even if he is really betrothed to him, he shouldn't think that this is a trivial matter, risking being arrested by mermaid soldiers and running to Murloc Street. Had it not been for Van der Dekenix's fruitful ability, which played a vital role in his future plans, he would never have asked him to cooperate. Don't worry about recklessness or recklessness. Anyway, I absolutely don't allow Neptune to betroth Princess White Star to Ye Chen. In order to express my love for Princess White Star, I intend to lead people to make trouble in the Dragon Palace and prevent this from happening. Van der Dekenix said this, but in fact, he knew how much he loved Princess White Star, only he knew it best. The biggest reason why Ye Chen wanted to marry Princess White Star as his wife was that he had discovered the secret of Princess White Star and knew that she was the heir of the next Neptune Poseidon. Leading people to make trouble in the Dragon Palace, are you crazy? When Van der Dekenix said this, it naturally aroused the dissatisfaction of Hody Jones. Not to mention, his plan has not yet been implemented. Even if the time is ripe, they should not directly attack the most heavily guarded Dragon Palace, but should attack the other places of the Fishman Island first. What's more, now, there is still a tricky figure in the Dragon Palace. Chapter 271. You want to make trouble in the Dragon Palace and force Neptune to betroth Princess White Star to you, yes. But, have you ever thought about how much it will cost? Hody Jones asked. No matter what the price is, I am willing to pay for Princess White Star. Van der Dekenix made a vow. Well, even if you are willing to pay the price, have you ever considered Ye Chen? You have to know how powerful and terrifying his strength is. When Hody Jones heard this, there was no way. That's why I came to you to join forces. As long as the two of us join forces, even Ye Chen may not be our two opponents. Van der Dekenix said so. Do you really think so? Hehe, you underestimate Ye Chen. When Hody Jones heard this, he was immediately happy. This frog at the bottom of the well thought he could join hands with him and two people could deal with Ye Chen. But also, he is indeed a frog at the bottom of the well. He has stayed on the bottom of the sea all his life and has never been to the world above. Why, Hody Jones, are you scared? Don't you claim that after you rule the entire ocean, your next plan is to rule the entire world? A Ye Chen from above scared you. I see, you shouldn't want to rule the whole world. I'm afraid not. You can't rule even a mere the Fishman Island. Upon hearing this, Van der Dekenix showed a trace of contempt. Sure enough, when he said this, Hody Jones was irritated. Van der Deken, how do you talk about you? How can I, Hody Jones, be afraid of a human being? Hody Jones is an extreme racist. He believes that Murlocs and Merfolk are the noblest races in the world, and humans are nothing more than waste that overflows in this world. He wants to rule the entire world. The first step is to wipe out humanity. Since you are not afraid, then you shouldn't be so cowering. What a mere Ye Chen is, even if the two of us join hands, it is indeed not his opponent, but don't forget, on the bottom of the ocean, it is our territory. Diaresis backquote. How many ferocious human pirates who have been on the sea for a while, after reaching the bottom of the sea, will they also become your servants of Hody Jones, obediently doing their lives for you? Van der Dekenix continued to urge. You are right. Hody Jones had to admit that what Van der Dekenix said was reasonable. On the sea, on the land, perhaps, Ye Chen is indeed an extremely powerful existence. Defeating the ant and beheading Kaido, all of this is undoubtedly a very scary record. But all of this happens on the sea, on land, right? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At the bottom of the 10,000-meter deep, it is difficult to say whether Ye Chen can still play half of his strength. More likely, because he is a capable person, in the sea, he will lose all ability to move. Therefore, as long as the two of them make good use of the sea, they may not be Ye Chen's opponents. Even if it is really not Ye Chen's opponent, no, doesn't he still have tens of thousands of men? These human pirates, being able to get down to the Fishman Island, means that their strength is not bad. As long as you make good use of these human pirates, Ye Chen will be exhausted. Yes, that's right, it turns out that the human pirates who previously entrenched in Murloc Street did not occupy Murloc Street at all. They were forced to stay on Murloc Street. Their ship was destroyed by the Murloc men sent by Van der Deken, and the ship was lost, and it was on the bottom of the sea at a depth of 10,000 meters. Many of them were not inferior to Hody Jones. But they couldn't resist Hody Jones at all, because many of them are capable people. Once exposed to the sea, only death awaits them. Therefore, they all became the enslavement of Hody Jones, working for Hody Jones. Anyway, for Princess White Star, I will go to the Dragon Palace no matter what. I will never allow Princess White Star to fall into the hands of a human being. As for whether you go or not, it's your business. Van der Dekenix said, quite spine, and with a wave of his hand, he greeted the Murloc and pirates under him to leave. Wait, Van der Dekenix said it all, what else can Hody Jones do? He intends to take this opportunity to implement his plan ahead of time. Because he knew very well that Van der Deeken X, for the White Star Princess, would spare no effort to attack the Fishman Island. In addition, if the two of them can work together to win Ye Chen, then it must be easier to rule the whole world in the future. After all, Ye Chen is recognized as the strongest man on the sea, and his Black Crow pirate group is known as the most powerful pirate group in the world, none of them. Since you insist on doing this, then I can only accompany you. Let's go to Ye Chen for a while, by the way, take down the Fishman Island. Hody Jones said coldly. Yes, because Ye Chen appeared in the Fishman Island, a series of changes have taken place in the original plot. Hody Jones plans to launch a revolution ahead of time and occupy the Fishman Island. After so many years, he can't bear it anymore. Hehehehe, this is Hody Jones. Van der Deeken X gave out his iconic laugh when he heard the words. He is very proud, it seems that his radical method has succeeded. Dragon Palace City, Dragon Palace. The banquet has ended, and the guests have not yet dispersed. After eating and drinking, you can also enjoy the dance of the beautiful mermaid girl. It can be said that Ye Chen and his party were treated by the emperor. However, even so, Ye Chen did not intend to stay in the Fishman Island. His purpose of coming to the Fishman Island is just to complete the tasks issued by the system for money. Now that the task has been completed, he naturally does not need to continue staying in the Fishman Island because of Neptune's warm hospitality. Therefore, Ye Chen decided to say goodbye to Neptune and leave the Fishman Island. What? You are leaving it now? King Neptune and the two ministers around him were shocked when they heard this. Up to this moment, they finally figured out one thing, that is, the purpose of Ye Chen's coming to the Fishman Island is really not for the White Star Princess. Master Ye Chen, are you sure you won't stay for a few more days? Let this king treat you well. Neptune said, confirming that Ye Chen is not coveting his baby girl. Neptune's attitude towards Ye Chen has undergone a 360-degree change. At least what he said was from his sincerity. No, after the singing and dancing, we will leave. Ye Chen said lightly. Chapter 272. Ye Chen's attitude towards Neptune was still so plain, and there was no trace of respect because he was the king. But in Neptune's mind, his views on Ye Chen have obviously changed a lot. Perhaps it would be nice to let him succeed Whitebeard and become the new guardian of the Fishman Island. Neptune thought so. In the original plot, after the top of the war, Whitebeard fell, and the Whitebeard pirates fell out of the 4 emperors list. The Fishman Island was assigned to the Ant and was taken over by the Ant. And here, because Ye Chen intervened, even if Whitebeard fell, the Whitebeard pirates would fall out of the 4 emperors, but because the territory was not divided by the other 3 emperors, the Fishman Island was still under the jurisdiction of the Whitebeard pirates. It just lacks the reputation of Whitebeard. Recently, more and more pirates have ran to the Fishman Island to make trouble. Therefore, Neptune felt that it might be a good choice to let Ye Chen take over the Fishman Island. You know, Ye Chen's strength and even reputation are far above Whitebeard. If people learn that Ye Chen has taken over the Fishman Island, who would dare to run to the Fishman Island to make trouble in the future? It was not that Neptune was ungrateful. He planned to do so, but it was also for the sake of the residents and people of the Fishman Island. You know, murlocs and mermaids, in the underground world above, have always been precious things. How many pirates risked their lives and wanted to kidnap some mermaid girls and go back and sell them for a good price? Even with Whitebeard covered, there are still many pirates taking risks. But if people learn that the Fishman Island is covered by Ye Chen, then such things will definitely be greatly reduced. It is even possible to completely eliminate it. This is not Neptune's wishful thinking, but because he knows how powerful Ye Chen is. However, Ye Chen insisted on leaving, and Neptune couldn't help it. It seems that I can only wait for the next opportunity to mention this matter. However, how long to wait for the next time? Neptune naturally wondered. Perhaps Ye Chen will not come to the Fishman Island again in the future. Yes, there is a big man who will be alright, and run to the bottom of the sea at a depth of 10,000 meters. Unless, he has concerns on the Fishman Island. Thinking of this, Neptune suddenly had a bold and absurd idea. If the White Star Princess is betrothed to Ye Chen, wouldn't it be the best of both worlds? Who would have thought that Van der Deeken IX's absurd idea was actually right? But after Neptune came back to his senses, he also felt that his idea was too absurd. At the beginning, who was so excited to hear that Ye Chen came to the Fishman Island for the purpose of Princess White Star? Now, he was anxious to marry Princess White Star to him. Isn't this a contradiction? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But is this contradictory? It doesn't count. Forced by others and willing to do so are completely different things. Putting away the absurd thoughts in his mind for a while, Neptune chatted with Ace, who was sitting next to him. Of course, 3 princes and 2 ministers also participated in this chat. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates is now in charge of the Fishman Island, and Ace is the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. After some chatting, they figured out a very important thing. That is, the Whitebeard Pirates did not have been swallowed by the Black Crow Pirates as the rumor said. They joined the Black Crow Pirates voluntarily and became the pirates of the Black Crow Pirates. Moreover, The Whitebeard pirate group has complete independence, not only retaining their territory, members, and even doing anything without the consent of the Black Crow pirate group. Of course, the premise is that what they do must not endanger the interests of the Black Crow pirates. After learning that Ye Chen was so enlightened, it was not at all what the rumors circulated outside said, that he was a dictator. He was a vicious pirate that Ye Chen wanted to grow, and desperately embezzled other pirate groups. Neptune and others have changed their views on Ye Chen again. It seems that the rumors are not necessarily credible. They are indeed used to staying in the bottom of the sea, and they will believe the rumors of those human pirates. Perhaps, Otahime is right. Even if it is a mermaid and a murloc, we shouldn't stay in the bottom of the sea all the time. If we have the opportunity, we should also go to the world above to see. In this way, we will not become a frog at the bottom of the well. Neptune inevitably sighed in his heart. Thinking of Princess Otahime, Neptune's heart inevitably showed another person's shadow. However, at this moment, Ye Chen suddenly stood up and said goodbye. King Neptune, so be it, there will be a period later. The singing and dancing have ended, Ye Chen has decided to leave, naturally there is no need to continue staying in the Fishman Island. As for the other members of the Black Crow Pirates, although they were very comfortable and wanted to stay in the Fishman Island, Ye Chen was their captain, and Ye Chen had the final say. Wait a minute. Neptune wanted to say something, but after all, he couldn't say it. Directly propose that Ye Chen take over the Fishman Island, is it a bit difficult for a strong man? Could it be that he should really marry his precious daughter, Princess White Star, to Ye Chen? Neptune hasn't made a decision yet. What if the daughter is unwilling to marry humans? What if the daughter gets angry because of it? What if this is actually a strategy of Ye Chen? What? You said in case Ye Chen disagrees. Impossible. Neptune still has considerable confidence in the beauty of his daughter. The world's #1 beauty is not a mere name. Even if Ye Chen has peerless beauties like Acides and number 18 by his side, Neptune does not think that his daughter, Princess White Star, is inferior to the two of them. No, in his mind, his daughter is far more beautiful than Acides and no. 18. However, just as Neptune was thinking about finding an excuse to keep Ye Chen for a while, a cold voice suddenly rang outside the Dragon Palace. King Neptune, don't come unharmed. It's the voice of Hody Jones. Hody Jones and Van der Decken Ix, as well as some of their right-hand men, have appeared outside the Dragon Palace at some point. Hody Jones. Neptune was a little surprised when he heard this. Yes, when he sounded about Princess Otahime just now, the figure in his mind was Hody Jones. In other words, Hody Jones was once a very good Murloc soldier in the Dragon Palace Kingdom, and Neptune even deliberately promoted him to be the captain of the Mermaid Soldier. However, due to a series of changes, Princess Otahime was assassinated by a human pirate, and his character changed drastically. Chapter 273. Now Hody Jones, even established a new Murloc pirate group, intends to overthrow his rule of Neptune, which annoys Neptune. Of course, what annoys Neptune the most is that Hody Jones and Van der Decken Ix joined forces. Speaking of the Van der Decken Ix, King Neptune was very hot, and this ugly monster did not know where he was confident, and he was wishful thinking about his baby daughter, Princess White Star. Is he worthy to compare with Ye Chen? Hiki, it's far away. After regaining his senses, Neptune was about to speak and scold Hody Jones. However, there was already a scream at the gate of the Dragon Palace. The mermaid guard at the door was actually killed by Hody Jones and the others. Afterwards, Hody Jones led Van der Decken Ix and their two main members of the pirate group into the Dragon Palace unscrupulously. Hody Jones, what are you doing? Are you blatantly rebelling? The Prince Shark couldn't help but reprimanded loudly, and he was quite a Prince Majesty. Rebellion. Yes, I was going to rebel. Neptune, your old fellow has been in the king's position long enough. It's time for a replacement to sit in the king's position. Also, what I want to say is that you, a weak fellow, are not qualified to be a king at all. We Murlocs and mermaids have different talents, and our natural physiques are much stronger than humans. We deserve to rule this world, and we are not ruled by weak humans. Hody Jones said indignantly. You can also hear from his words that he is an extreme racist, and he looks down on humans from the bottom of his heart. Hody Jones, do you know how rebellious your words are? This is the former king's guard. Minister, you couldn't help but scolded him. Once, how optimistic he was about this kid, he didn't expect that he would become like this. Okay. The grievances between you, leave it aside for now. Today, it's for Lousy's business. With that, Van der Decken Ix stood up and said to King Neptune, Nipton, Lousy, cough. Van der Decken Ix's love for Princess White Star can be learned from the sun and the moon. If you are interested, you should marry Princess White Star to me, not to a human being. What did you say? Neptune was surprised when he heard the words. How does this kid know the king's inner thoughts? When Van der Decken Ix saw Neptune like this, he was even more sure that his idea was correct. He couldn't help looking viciously at Ye Chen in the crowd. He may not know Ye Chen. The most outstanding young man in the scene must be Ye Chen. Hody Jones and Van der Decken Ix. Ye Chen, who had already planned to leave, couldn't help but stop after the trouble between Hody Jones and Van der Decken Ix. As far as he knows, Hody Jones probably did not initiate the coup so early. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At least, it will take 2 or 3 years after the top war before he launches a coup. However, perhaps because he appeared in the Fishman Island, Horty Jones changed in advance. This is the so-called butterfly effect. If Horty Jones initiates a coup in advance, Ye Chen couldn't help but think about it. Without the protagonist group Luffy and the group of people obstructing, even the Murloc hero Jinbei is not on the Fishman Island, then Horty Jones has a great probability of success in launching a coup. In other words, if he does not intervene in this matter, then after today, the king of the Dragon Palace Kingdom, I am afraid it will really be replaced. However, Ye Chen was not in a hurry to make a move, so he waited for the changes first. Captain. However, the little friends of the Black Crow Pirates group were already a little uncontrollable. Fighting, but their favorite thing, they have itchy hands now. Besides, Neptune entertained them so warmly, so they were still on Neptune's side. For the two arrogant guys, Horty Jones and Van der Daken Ix, who suddenly appeared, they were very displeased. Especially Doflamingo. In his impression, he seemed to have done some underground transactions with Horty Jones and sold him some strengthening drugs. However, that was before he joined the Black Crow Pirates. Not in a hurry, Ye Chen said. Hearing what Ye Chen said, Aceeds and others, what else can they say? They can only continue to wait and see. 0 Find flowers 0. At the same time, Van der Daken Ix took his gaze away from Ye Chen, and said coldly to Neptune, Nipton, what are you still hesitating about? Let's marry Princess White Star to me. Don't be ignorant. To tell you the truth, I have found the oldie boat of promise, Noah. As you know, I am a person cursed by Baba. Anything I have touched can become arrows and targets. If I let Noah hit the Fishman Island directly, what will be the consequences? Tisk tisk, I am afraid that even if you are the king of the Dragon Palace Kingdom, you can't afford it. Van der Daken Ix was in the crowd, and Kai Guago threatened King Neptune. ... This pirate, does he know what he's talking about? Van der Daken Ix of damn it, doesn't he put all of us in his eyes, dare to speak to our king like this? The pirate who killed 1,000 swords. Almost all the civil and military officials in the Longong Kingdom were furious. Wishful thinking. However, Neptune also showed his tough side as a king. How could he marry his baby daughter to the ugly princess of the White Star? This guy is a toad who wants to eat swan meat. Come on, take them down. Neptune didn't talk nonsense with him, and directly ordered the soldiers to take down Horty Jones and Van der Daken Ix. Yes, the mermaid soldiers guarding the Dragon Palace heard this and immediately swarmed up. Among them, the leader is the Prince Shark. Nipton, it seems that you are toasting and not eating fine wine. Van der Daken Ix snorted coldly. Horty Jones, don't you let your people take action. You know, we have an agreement. You help me get Princess White Star, and I will help you win the Fishman Island. If you don't have me, it is impossible to take down the Fishman Island. Van der Daken Ix suddenly turned his head and said to Horty Jones beside him. Got it. In this regard, Horty Jones didn't say anything. Indeed, Van der Daken Ix was right. Without his help, it would be almost impossible for him to take down the Fishman Island. Force. Chapter 274. Therefore, Horty Jones had no choice but to signal the new Murloc pirate group cadres behind him to stop the mermaid soldiers. For Horty Jones, you are really going to rebel. Prince Shark was very angry. He and Horty Jones are not much different in grade. He once arrested the human pirates who made trouble on the Fishman Island together. He didn't expect that he would become like this now. At the moment, he did not care about the feelings of the past, and the soldiers attacked Horty Jones. Everyone felt that the next one would be a very fierce fight. However, everyone was wrong. Of course, except Ye Chen. Because it was just a confrontation, the mermaid soldiers led by the Shark Prince had been put down by the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group. And the only Shark Prince with decent strength was also suddenly shot by Horty Jones 283, hitting him on the ground with one blow, and struggling with pain. No, impossible. Except for Ye Chen and his party, almost everyone on the scene was stunned. They never expected that the guards of the Dragon Palace would be so vulnerable. Are these mermaid soldiers too weak, or are the Horty Jones and the group too strong? In this regard, Ye Chen feels that this is a matter of course. After all, the people behind Horty Jones are all cadres of the new Murloc pirates. All the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group, such as Dothan, Jio, Dharma, Icarus, and Leopard Zhang, are all present. With their strength, is it not easy to deal with a few Dragon Palace guards in a mere district? The only Shark Prince who was able to fight against them was suddenly beaten up by Horty Jones, so it is natural that this fight ended so suddenly. Humph. Horty Jones looked at the struggling Shark Star lying on the floor and couldn't help letting out a cold snort of disdain. Prince Shark, it's not that I despise you, but that you haven't seen much growth over the years. Also, as a prince, how can you grow up in Dragon Palace? You don't look down on people, said the Prince Shark struggling. However, he was also quite shocked. Unexpectedly, after not seeing him in just a few years, the strength gap between him and Horty Jones would be so huge. He couldn't even bear a single move. The weak are not qualified to be kings at all. No matter it is Neptune or your shark, you are not worthy. In this world, only the weak and the strong are worthy to be kings. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hody Jones made no secret of his ambition. They have already torn their skins, and there is no need to hide everything in hiding. Yes, he had already wanted to overthrow the Neptune regime and replaced it himself. Wow. When Hody Jones said this, it caused a commotion. The civil and military officials of the Longgong Kingdom can be said to be filled with righteous indignation. However, when the fierce gazes of Hody Jones and the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group behind him swept over them, they suddenly persuaded. It is recognized that the strongest shark prince in Dragon Palace, as well as the strongest mermaid soldier guards, were instantly put down by Hody Jones and the others. What qualifications do they have to fight against them? According to you, you are not qualified to be a king. Ye Chen couldn't help but speak after hearing this. What do you mean, human? When Hody Jones heard this, he was immediately dissatisfied. He knew that the person speaking was Ye Chen, but what about it? At a depth of 10,000 meters, but in their Murloc and mermaid territory, there is no need to be afraid of a human being alone. I mean, isn't it obvious? You said that the strongest person deserves to be a king. And you are not the strongest person here. Ye Chen said calmly. Oh, do you think you are stronger than me? Hody Jones's dissatisfaction was written on his face. Do you still need to think about it? Just you, even these three beauties, well, two beauties, I can't beat them. Ye Chen had to change his mouth temporarily. After his recent training, Perona has indeed grown in strength. However, letting her play against Hody Jones was really embarrassing for him. On the contrary, they are the two beauties of number 18 and Ace Day. Which one wants to abuse Hody Jones, is not easy. Ye Chen can see the strength of Hody Jones, at most Admiral level 0. Oh no, it's not even as good as Admiral. In other words, even Doflamingo is enough to slap Hody Jones easily. Of course, this is under special circumstances. Ha. Tsk ha ha ha. When Hody Jones heard the words, he laughed unscrupulously as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Ye Chen, you shouldn't really think that if you are stronger than me, you can defeat me. This is the bottom of the sea. Maybe you are right. The two of them are stronger than me, but what about? Quote. Hody Jones had no plans from the beginning, and did it himself. To deal with Ye Chen and his party, do you still need him to do it yourself? If this matter requires him to do it himself, then, what did he do with the human pirates that he has painstakingly managed over the years and forced to recruit? He forced so many human pirates to join the new Murloc pirate group for today. Moron. Ye Chen did not speak, but number 18 did. When her cold words came out, it was very pleasant. The civil and military officials of the Longgong Kingdom couldn't help but cast admiring eyes on this cold blonde beauty. Although, they still think that their White Star Princess is the most beautiful woman in the world, but now, they reluctantly admit that the beauty of this blonde beauty is qualified to be tied with the White Star Princess. Of course, the Ice Queen Acedes is not bad either. Beauty, talking nonsense has a price. The cadre of the new Murloc pirate group, Joe, did not know when, unexpectedly, quietly appeared behind No. If he hadn't made a sound, almost no one would have noticed him. Yes, because of the characteristics of his own fish species, Japanese whisker shark, who is good at using the black and white stripes of his body to hide himself, he can integrate his body color with his surrounding environment. Therefore, he was able to quietly appear behind the 18th by surprise, and launched a sneak attack on the 18th. If he were a human, he might be amazed by the peerless appearance on the 18th, but because he was a Murloc, he didn't have a cold for human beauties, so he naturally didn't show mercy when he did it. Chapter 275. Gio's fin-like right hand was covered with a layer of armament Haki. It seemed that he was planning to punch through No 18's chest with a blow from behind. Be careful. Seeing this, the people in the Dragon Palace couldn't help but worry about the 18th. They had already seen Jia's strength, so they were worried about the blonde beauty in front of them. Can such a beautiful beauty escape Jia's murderous hand? However, in the next second, they knew they were wrong, a big mistake. Humph. Number 18 gave a cold snort, and then, without looking back, punched the attacker with a backhand. The speed is so fast that few people at the scene can see it clearly. Supersonic punch. Boom. With a muffled noise suddenly exploded, people were shocked to see that under this punch, Gio had evaporated, yes, evaporated. There is no scum left by the punch. The supersonic punch, the violent friction, and even the flesh and blood that burst into him, instantly burned clean. What's the matter with 09? Where is Gio? People who couldn't see the reason raised questions. How is this possible? How fast is this punch? The high temperature generated by the violent friction with the air has even burned the flesh and blood. Those who saw a little way were even more shocked. How powerful is this punch? Especially the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group were even more frightened. Just a punch, killed the very good Gio among them. Is this woman so powerful? It wasn't until this time that they realized that this blonde beauty came with Ye Chen, and she was a member of the Black Crow Pirates. Members of the Black Crow Pirates, there are no weak ones. On the 18th, get rid of them. Ye Chen suddenly ordered. He is not interested. He is too weak and entangled with the weak like Hody Jones, at least in the eyes of Ye Chen. Therefore, Ye Chen ordered the 18th to get rid of them as soon as possible. As for the reason, of course not. Does the strong need a reason to attack the weak? It does not need. Think of it as a favor to Neptune. Yes. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After receiving the order on the 18th, without saying anything, he rushed forward and started his hands. What is she doing? Who does she think she is, dare to rush through alone? The last word, come, has not yet been spoken, replaced by a scream of extreme horror. What? You? Don't come here. Help. Among the shocked eyes of everyone, the 18th was in the Dragon Palace, killing. Fortunately, her strength is too strong. Whether it is to perform any moves, supersonic fist or shock wave, she can directly blast the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group, and there is no residue left. Therefore, even if this one-sided slaughter was very inhumane, but there was no flesh and blood in the Dragon Palace, it was okay. Of course, even if there is no flesh and blood, but there is no scum that directly bombards people, this scene still brings extreme panic to the people on the scene. As this a member of the Black Crow pirate group? So powerful. As the new member of the Black Crow pirates so powerful. This is even stronger than the Ice Queen Acedes. She's number 18, isn't she? So powerful. For a time, people remembered the name of this blonde beauty. Her name is 18. This is not so much a name as it is a code name. At the scene, there were a lot of spies from Marine, world government, and some big pirate groups. They hurriedly conveyed information about the 18th through a secret phone worm that they carried with them. As a result, many organizations have already learned for the first time that the Black Crow Pirates has added a powerful newcomer named number 18, whose strength is no longer under the Ice Queen Acedes. No, how can she be so strong? Van der Deacon X was shocked. Damn it. While Horty Jones looked at the cadres he valued, one after another tragically died under the hands of the 18 good. In addition to shock, he gritted his teeth with hatred. However, he can see clearly that what Ye Chen said before is not false. With his strength, it is indeed impossible to compare with no. 18. If you play with her, there will be only one end, that is, there will be no scum that is directly bombarded by her shock wave. Does such a powerful woman really exist in the world? Van der Deacon X was deeply suspicious of this. Could it be that they have been hiding in the bottom of the sea for too long and have become frogs at the bottom of the well? Could it be that on the sea, human women can be so powerful? Even the Murlocs and mermaid warriors with their extraordinary talents can't be so powerful. Horty Jones' thinking is almost the same as that of Van der Deacon X, except that he is even more painful. He saw that on the 18th, after almost clearing the cadres of the new Murloc pirate group, they were approaching him. With so many capable cadres in the new Murloc pirate group, she can't stop her alone. Damn it, it won't work anymore. Horty Jones was in a hurry. Van der Deacon, implement Plan B ahead of time. Horty Jones couldn't manage that much anymore and directly let Van der Deacon X execute Plan B. Okay. Van der Deacon X can't wait any longer. If Horty Jones doesn't give orders, he will execute Plan B without authorization. Therefore, upon hearing this, he immediately activated his abilities. Bang! Boom! With a loud noise, the whole Dragon Palace shook the ground. The roof of the palace was directly shattered, and countless human pirates descended from the sky. What's the situation? The people in the Dragon Palace were immediately stunned. What's the matter with these pirate ships, why are they flying in the air? People were shocked. Yes, after the roof was smashed, everyone looked up, and then they suddenly found that dozens of huge pirate ships appeared above them. In the huge Dragon Palace, there was a pirate boat parked almost everywhere in the sky. Countless human pirates descended from the sky. No, this battle, people are terrified. Yes, in their impression, this battle is estimated to be only possible for the Golden Lion Shiki, the captain of the flying pirate ship, and lion fruit capable people, right? The Golden Lion Shiki is obviously impossible to appear in the Fishman Island. In other words, all this was done by King Van der Deacon X.